Every time you shop at Costco, it's easy for your cart to fill up with things that all seem reasonable. But in reality, only a small group of foods are truly worth buying consistently every month. Most of the rest quietly drain your wallet faster than you realize. Not because they're low quality or unusable, but because they don't deliver value that matches how often you buy them. This list covers 21 items you should buy every month at Costco. Familiar staples that help you stop wasting money on unnecessary choices. You'd be awesome if you liked this video. 1. Large cartons of milk or plant-based milk. Large cartons of milk or plant-based milk are items many people buy out of habit but rarely think about in terms of timing. In reality, these are staples that show up every day in breakfast, coffee, cooking, and even snacks. Because they're used so regularly, buying them at the right time can make a very noticeable difference in monthly spending. At Costco, large cartons of milk are usually priced much better than buying smaller ones individually, especially during minor weekly markdowns. At those prices, buying once and using them over several weeks reduces store trips and helps you avoid last-minute purchases at higher prices elsewhere. 2. Chicken thighs, whole chicken. Many Costco shoppers tend to skip the fresh meat section, thinking bulk purchases will be hard to use up. But with chicken thighs or whole chickens, that concern is often misplaced. These cuts are easy to prep, easy to portion, and extremely versatile if you buy them the right way. Compared to pre-trimmed cuts, chicken thighs and whole chickens are clearly cheaper per pound. One Costco purchase can be divided across multiple meals without feeling like you're eating the same thing over and over. A whole chicken can be used almost entirely. Meat for main dishes, bones for broth, and leftovers can be frozen for later. Another major advantage is how well they freeze. Portion them out, freeze them, and pull them out as needed. This helps you avoid emergency grocery runs at higher prices, especially on busy days. Plant-based milk works similarly, especially for those who use it regularly in coffee or smoothies. More importantly, large cartons fit better with a family's real daily routine. 3. Olive oil. Olive oil is something many people buy impulsively. A bottle looks premium, promises health benefits, and goes straight into the cart, without much thought about cost per use. Yet it's an ingredient used constantly in everyday cooking, from pan frying to salads to simple meals. At Costco, large bottles of olive oil completely change the cost equation. Buying in larger volumes significantly lowers the price per tablespoon compared to smaller bottles purchased here and there. For families who cook often, even a few dollars difference per bottle adds up quickly over a month. Olive oil is also easy to store. Kept in a cool, dry place, it maintains stable quality for a long time. 4. Large bags of rice. In many households, rice is always in the kitchen. There's no overthinking it. When it runs out, you buy more, then keep using it. Because it's so familiar, rice is often overlooked when budgeting, even though it's one of the items that most directly affects monthly food spending. When purchased in large bags at Costco, the cost per meal is noticeably lower than buying smaller bags over time. For households that eat rice regularly, one purchase can last a long while, eliminating the risk of running out and having to buy more quickly at a higher price. Rice is also very easy to store. Kept dry and sealed, it can be used steadily for weeks without any loss in quality. That makes large bags of rice especially well suited to Costco-style shopping. Buy once, use for a long time, and avoid unnecessary waste. 5. Large cartons of eggs. Eggs show up constantly in breakfast, everyday cooking, and baking. And they're also one of the items that can drain your budget the fastest if you buy them the wrong way. When eggs are purchased in large cartons at Costco, the price per egg is noticeably lower than buying smaller cartons here and there. For households that use eggs regularly, simply switching to this format can lead to clear savings, even though eating habits stay exactly the same. Another advantage is how easy eggs are to rotate through meals. They work for boiled breakfasts, quick lunches, baking, or cooking. Eggs also keep fairly well in the refrigerator, so buying in larger quantities doesn't create pressure to use them immediately or worry about spoilage. 6. Frozen salmon. Salmon is a food many families want to include more often but end up buying inconsistently because of price and the feeling that it has to be used right away. Frozen salmon at Costco solves this in a very practical way. Buy it ahead of time, store it, and use it when you're ready. When frozen salmon is purchased in large bags, the cost per meal is clearly lower than buying fresh salmon one trip at a time. You can portion it out, keep it in the freezer, and cook it as needed. This eliminates those moments when you want salmon but have to rush to the store and pay a higher price. Frozen salmon is also easy to prepare. Baking, pan-searing, or simple cooking methods all work well without much prep time. For families trying to balance meat and fish throughout the week, having salmon ready in the freezer makes meal planning far more flexible. 7. Whole wheat sandwich bread, large bag. When families need something reliable to quickly put together a meal, bread is often the first thing they reach for. It's simple, requires little preparation, and can be ready in minutes. Because of that convenience, whole wheat sandwich bread tends to be repurchased regularly, with little thought about whether it's being bought in the most cost-effective way. Large bags of bread at Costco fit this usage pattern better than buying smaller packs separately. One purchase can last several days, and the price per loaf is noticeably lower. For households that make sandwiches often or rely on bread for breakfast and light meals, the savings become clear after just a few weeks. 8. Plain yogurt, unsweetened. Plain yogurt is one of those items many households buy and then realize they use far more than expected. At first, it's just for breakfast or mixed with fruit, but over time it starts showing up alongside main meals, in sauces, or as a light evening snack. Buying large tubs of plain yogurt at Costco fits this usage pattern much better. The larger size brings the cost per serving down significantly compared to buying individual containers. Plain yogurt is also extremely versatile. It can be eaten on its own, mixed with fruit, used for overnight oats, or substituted for sour cream in cooking. Because it's not pre-sweetened, it's easy to pair with different foods without feeling heavy or repetitive. Storage is simple as well. It keeps well in the refrigerator and can be used gradually over many days. 9. Dry beans. Dry beans are often overlooked at Costco because they don't look exciting. But when you take a closer look, they're one of the most cost-effective and nutrient-dense foods that many families still underuse. Dry beans provide plant-based protein, fiber, and slow-digesting carbohydrates which help keep you full longer and pair well with main meals. Meals that include beans tend to reduce hunger between meals and cut down on unnecessary snacking. When used consistently, dry beans don't just save money, they also make meals more balanced. Buying dry beans in large bags at Costco delivers very clear value. One bag can stretch across many meals, from soups and stews to rice dishes or vegetable sides. Cooking a large batch once and portioning it out saves both time and money compared to relying on canned beans. 10. Canned tuna. Canned tuna is something many households always keep on hand, but it's often treated as an emergency backup. In reality, when used regularly, it's one of the most convenient, nutrient-dense, and budget-friendly foods available. Tuna is high in protein, low in fat, and contains omega-3s, making it ideal for quick but balanced meals. One can mix it into a salad, eat it with rice, or pair it with bread to create a simple meal that keeps you full. On busy days, this kind of food helps maintain steady eating habits without much cooking. Buying canned tuna in large multi-packs at Costco significantly lowers the price per can compared to buying them individually. One purchase can last for weeks, eliminating last-minute store runs and higher prices. Like the video if this surprised you. 11. Peanut butter. Peanut butter is a staple many households buy regularly, but it's often overlooked because it's so familiar. In reality, it's a food that keeps you full, provides sustained energy, and fits easily into daily routines when used well. Peanut butter offers healthy fats, protein, and some fiber, so even a moderate amount can keep you satisfied for hours. It works well spread on toast in the morning, mixed into oatmeal, used in simple sauces, or paired with fruit. On busy days, it's an easy way to fill a meal gap without sacrificing nutrition. Peanut butter is also easy to store. It keeps well at room temperature or in the refrigerator and can be used gradually without spoiling quickly. This helps reduce waste, especially for households that don't go through large amounts at once. 12. Potatoes. Potatoes may look simple, but they show up in family kitchens far more often than people realize. When you need to cook quickly, add something to round out a meal, or just want something filling, potatoes are often the first thing you reach for. Nutritionally, potatoes provide slow-digesting carbohydrates, fiber, and potassium, which help keep you full without feeling heavy. That flexibility is exactly why potatoes rarely get forgotten in the kitchen. Buying large bags of potatoes at Costco fits real-life usage well. If they're in the house, they'll get used. No complicated planning required. Potatoes also store quite well in a cool, ventilated place, so there's no pressure to use them immediately or worry about them going bad too quickly. 13. Frozen vegetables. Frozen vegetables are often underrated because they don't look as fresh as produce in the refrigerated section. But in everyday life, they're actually one of the most frequently used food groups when you need something quick and nutritious. Open the freezer, and vegetables are already there. No washing, no chopping, and no worrying about them wilting after a few days. From a nutrition standpoint, frozen vegetables like mixed vegetables, broccoli, or stir-fry blends retain fiber, vitamins, and minerals quite well because they're frozen shortly after harvest. For many families, this is the simplest way to make sure every meal includes vegetables, even on busy days or when there's no time for grocery shopping. Frozen vegetables are also very flexible in cooking. They can be quickly stir-fried, added to fried rice, noodles, or soups, or served alongside meat with minimal effort. 14. Block cheese, cheddar, mozzarella. Block cheese is something many households use regularly, but rarely stop to consider whether they're buying it in the most cost-effective way. Whenever a dish needs richness, sandwiches, homemade pizza, baked dishes, or even a few slices on the side, cheese naturally finds its way into the kitchen routine. Block cheeses like cheddar or mozzarella make meals more filling and flavorful without needing large amounts. Even a small portion can noticeably enhance taste, which makes portion control easier once you're used to using it. Cheese blocks sold at Costco have a clear advantage in flexibility. Instead of buying pre-shredded or pre-sliced cheese, buying a large block and cutting it as needed gives you more options: fresh slices, shredded cheese, or melted applications. You prep only what you need, reducing the risk of drying out or spoilage that often happens with pre-processed cheese. 15. Dry pasta. Dry pasta is the kind of food that proves its value at exactly the right moment. On days when you don't know what to cook, opening the pantry and seeing pasta instantly makes everything feel easier. Add a bit of sauce and some meat or vegetables, and you have a simple, complete meal. Dry pasta's biggest advantage is how long it keeps and how flexible it is. It doesn't need refrigeration, doesn't spoil quickly, and doesn't require tracking expiration dates closely. Kept in the pantry, you can cook exactly the amount you need. No waste, no leftovers you didn't plan for. Buying dry pasta in large bags at Costco fits this real-world usage perfectly. Whether you eat pasta several times a week or just occasionally as a change of pace, it can sit in the pantry without issue until you're ready to use it. 16. Canned tomatoes. Many households keep canned tomatoes in the pantry without realizing how often they actually use them. When you need to cook quickly, make a sauce, braise meat, or simply add a bit of acidity to a dish, opening the cabinet and seeing canned tomatoes instantly makes things easier. Canned tomatoes aren't affected by seasonality, and there's no worry about fresh tomatoes over-ripening or spoiling halfway through the week. Open the can, and they're ready to use. Very little prep required. For weekday meals, this saves a noticeable amount of time while still delivering familiar, reliable flavor. 17. Canned beans. Canned beans are often bought for convenience, but then used less consistently simply because people forget they're there. In reality, they're one of the easiest ways to pull together a meal when you don't want anything complicated. Just open the can, rinse the beans, and they're ready to go. They work well in salads, soups, stews, mixed with meat, or served alongside rice. Unlike dry beans, there's no soaking or long cooking time, which makes canned beans especially useful on busy days or when meals need to come together quickly. 18. Frozen ground beef. Frozen ground beef proves its value most clearly on days when you need to cook fast but still want a proper meal. Having it in the freezer immediately makes meal planning easier. Everything from pasta sauce and tacos to burgers or simple stir-fries with vegetables becomes doable. The convenience of frozen ground beef comes from how easy it is to portion. You take exactly what you need and return the rest to the freezer, instead of thawing a whole package and feeling pressure to use it all at once. This helps prevent waste and avoids the need to cook multiple meals in a row, which often happens with fresh meat. 19. Bananas. In everyday eating, the hardest moments are often between meals, when you're slightly hungry but nothing feels worth the effort. Bananas solve that gap in the simplest way possible. Grab one and eat it. No preparation is required. Bananas are filling enough to take the edge off hunger without feeling heavy, which makes them easy to include in daily routines. They're also extremely flexible. When you're in a rush, eat one on its own. With more time, pair it with yogurt for a quick breakfast. For longer-lasting fullness, combine it with oats or peanut butter. When bananas are riper, blend them into smoothies. No added sugar needed. Buying bananas in large bunches at Costco makes sense because they get used in so many different ways. Thanks to their clear benefits and versatility, bananas become one of the safest items to buy every month without worrying about wasted money. 20. Large bags of apples. For people who are dieting or trying to maintain a stable weight, apples are often chosen because they feel light after eating and don't interfere with the next meal. Apples are low in calories, high in water, and contain fiber, which creates a gentle feeling of fullness without throwing off regular meals. Eating an apple between meals helps curb cravings for sweets or snack foods, especially on days when meal timing isn't very consistent. There's no weighing, no complicated tracking, just grab one and eat. Buying apples in large bags at Costco works well for anyone focused on dieting because it makes the habit easier to maintain. When apples are readily available at home, you're far more likely to choose one instead of reaching for sugary snacks. Apples also keep well in the refrigerator, so there's no pressure to eat them quickly or worry about spoilage. What makes apples especially valuable for weight management is that they don't feel mentally exhausting. They're not a health food you force yourself to eat, or a shortcut for rapid weight loss. They simply make controlling daily eating feel more natural. And for anyone dieting, that consistency matters more than any promise of quick results. 21. Ground pork or frozen pork. Ground pork or frozen pork is a staple many households use regularly because it's easy to cook and easy to eat. There's no need to plan complicated dishes. Having pork on hand makes it simple to put together a basic meal. It works well for stir-fries, soups, braises, meatballs, or mixed with vegetables. Ground pork is especially convenient because you can use exactly the amount you need. There's no need to thaw a large piece and then worry about leftovers. Pre-cut frozen pork makes this even easier, which is ideal for days when you get home late or don't have time to prep ahead. Buying ground pork or frozen pork at Costco helps keep kitchen routines more stable. When there's meat ready in the freezer, you don't have to make mid-week store runs just to buy protein, and you avoid rushed last-minute purchases. Shopping at Costco isn't about buying more. It's about buying what you know you'll actually use up within the month. When you focus on familiar foods that fit easily into daily routines and get used consistently, grocery spending naturally goes down without sacrificing meal quality. This list isn't meant to make you buy more, but to help you stop wasting money on items that sit unused. Stick to this principle, and every Costco trip will feel noticeably lighter on your wallet. Which tip from the video surprised you the most? Costco is wrapping up a wave of discounts, but not everything labeled on sale is actually worth buying. In reality, many shoppers regret their purchase not because they missed out, but because they bought the wrong item right before prices bounced back. These are deals on products that used to sell extremely fast, but are now deeply discounted at the last minute, and they are the reasons savvy shoppers move quickly on them. Watch until the end to know which items are worth grabbing today and which ones you can confidently leave on the shelf without a second thought. You'd be awesome if you liked this video. Philips Norelco All-in-One Trimmer. If you're looking for something that's easy to buy, easy to use, and offers some of the best value in this sale, the Philips Norelco All-in-One Trimmer 24-in-1 is the one to check out right now. Costco is taking $15 off, nearly 25% off the regular price. This is the kind of discount that usually only shows up briefly in the coupon book. What makes this kit worth it isn't the 24-in-1 number for marketing appeal, but the fact that one purchase covers almost all grooming needs: haircuts, beard, trimming, body grooming, and detail work. That means no buying separate tools that seem inexpensive on their own, but add up quickly. It works for both wet and dry use, has reliable battery life, has a compact grip, and is comfortable for everyday use. At this price, it's the best time to buy if you've already been planning to get a trimmer. Once the promotion ends, the price goes back up and the value just isn't the same anymore. Shark Stratos Cordless Vacuum. Costco is knocking $60 off right now. And if you're thinking about upgrading your vacuum during this sale, the cordless Shark Stratos deserves a close look. This is the type of deal that typically shows up near the very end of a promotion. What keeps the Shark Stratos in the spotlight is its ability to automatically detect dirt levels. When it hits a dirtier area, it boosts suction on its own, no manual adjustments needed. It may sound simple, but in daily use, the difference is obvious: less effort, less time wasted, especially in homes with pets or kids. The cordless design also means you can grab it and start cleaning immediately without dealing with plugs or complicated setup. The dustbin and attachments are designed for quick removal and easy cleaning. Battery life is sufficient for a standard full house clean without needing to recharge mid-session. Shark Never Change Max Air Purifier. Many people only start paying attention to air purifiers once their home already smells stale, or allergies kick in, and by then prices are rarely good. With the Shark Never Change Max. What stands out in this round is that Costco is discounting it by nearly $60, and this cut targets long-term value, not just a number. The biggest advantage of this model is its long-lasting filter, which doesn't need frequent replacement like most air purifiers. That means beyond the upfront discount, you avoid recurring annual filter costs, something many owners only realize months after buying other machines. The longer you use it, the clearer the savings become. It's powerful enough for medium to large rooms, includes a remote control, and is easy to move around. For homes with pets, allergy sufferers, or enclosed spaces, this is the kind of air purifier you buy once and rely on for years without worrying about constant maintenance. Keurig K-Café Coffee Maker. If you've been thinking about upgrading your home coffee setup, the Keurig K-Café is one to look at closely during this round. Costco is taking $40 off, and in the coffee maker category, that's a meaningful discount enough to change a buying decision. It brews quickly, offers multiple cup sizes, and delivers coffee at the push of a button, which makes it ideal for busy mornings. On top of that, the K-Café can create a faux espresso-style crema, good enough for making lattes or cappuccinos at home without investing in an expensive machine or learning complicated brewing techniques. Because it fits the habit of quick coffee, but better than instant. This model tends to sell steadily whenever it's discounted. With the current $40 price cut, this is a sensible entry point for anyone who's been on the fence between upgrading and sticking with an older machine. Ninja Slushy Frozen Drink Maker. For seasonal fun appliances, timing matters a lot. Buying at the right moment determines whether you really get value. With the Ninja Slushy Frozen Drink Maker, the key detail right now is that Costco is discounting it by $60. The kind of short-term deal that usually shows up just before peak season ends. Anyone who wants fast frozen drinks, large capacity, and multiple preset modes will immediately understand why the Ninja Slushy draws attention every time it goes on sale. Just add the ingredients, press a button, and you've got slushies, frozen drinks, or cocktails at home. No complicated adjustments required. What makes this round especially notable is the discount, a deep enough cut that many shoppers decide to buy now instead of waiting. Bibigo Mandu Large Bag. Let's pause on appliances and electronics for a moment and shift to another major reason people shop at Costco: fast-selling frozen foods. If there's one item that's convenient, easy to eat, and consistently snapped up when it goes on sale, it's the Bibigo Mandu pork and vegetable dumplings in the large bag. The pork filling mixed with vegetables is well-balanced and not greasy, and the wrappers are thick enough to work well whether you pan-fry, steam, or use an air fryer. On busy days, you can have a complete meal ready in just minutes without much prep. Costco has a promotion on Bibigo Mandu right now, which is exactly why this item often sells out faster than expected. This bag is a frequent repeat buy for many households. As long as you have a pan or an air fryer, you can put together a quick meal with minimal effort. I've noticed that people who grab Mandu usually do so decisively. They don't stand around comparing. They already know the taste and are just waiting for the discount to add another bag to the freezer. Sabatasso's Pizza Singles 12 individual pizzas. Next up in the quick convenient food category. Sabatasso's Pizza. Singles 12 individual pizzas is an item that gets cleared out fast whenever there's a deal. The reason is simple, quick to eat, perfectly sized, and ready to go. This time, Costco is taking $3.60 off, and for ready-to-eat frozen foods, that kind of discount makes a noticeable difference. The strength of pizza singles is flexibility. Each pizza is an individual portion with no complicated thawing required. You can toss one into an air fryer oven or microwave and have it ready in minutes. It's ideal for rushed lunches, late dinners, or households with kids who all want something different. Rao's tomato sauce, 2 28-ounce jars. For anyone who cooks at home regularly, Rao's tomato sauce, 2 28-ounce jars, is an item worth paying attention to the moment it goes on sale. This time, Costco is taking $3 off, and for a product that rarely sees deep discounts, that's enough for many shoppers to buy without hesitation. Rao's is popular because it's simple and consistent. The sauce is thick with a clear tomato flavor, not overly sweet, and definitely not the kind that smells industrial the moment you open the jar. It works well for pasta, homemade pizza, or as a base for stews and braised dishes. Most importantly, it's something people actually use regularly, not a try it once and forget it in the pantry kind of purchase. Many compare it to traditional Italian-style sauces, straightforward, versatile, and easy to eat without feeling heavy. Kirkland's Signature Paper Towels. When it comes to everyday household value, it's hard to overlook Kirkland's Signature Paper Towels. What's catching attention this round is that they're on promotion, bringing the per-roll cost noticeably lower than usual. For consumables like paper towels, even a few dollars in savings adds up over a month, especially for larger households or families with kids. Kirkland paper towels are well regarded for being thick, durable, and resistant to falling apart when wet. They're versatile enough for everything from the bathroom to the kitchen. Many people stick with this line long-term because it's consistently reliable. You buy it once and don't feel the need to switch brands. Like the video if this one surprised you. Bose Solo Soundbar 2/JBL Cinema 3.1.2 Soundbar. Are you thinking about upgrading your home audio? This is a particularly easy time to decide because Costco is offering deals on 2 soundbars in different tiers. The Bose Solo Soundbar 2 and the JBL Cinema 3.1.2. The question isn't which one is better, but which one fits your needs before the deal ends. For the Bose Solo Soundbar 2, Costco is taking $30 off. This is a solid choice for anyone who doesn't need heavy bass and simply wants clearer TV audio in a compact, easy-to-set-up package. It's well-suited for bedrooms, small apartments, or everyday TV viewing spaces. Bose excels at voice clarity, so news, movies, and YouTube all sound noticeably better right away without much tweaking. On the other hand, the JBL Cinema 3.1.2 is a clear step up for those who want a more cinematic experience at home. It includes a wireless subwoofer, supports Dolby Atmos, and delivers fuller, wider sound. With the current pricing, it sits in a very easy-to-justify range for its feature set, which is why people who've had their eye on it tend to jump on the deal. If you've been considering an upgrade to your TV audio, this is one of the easiest moments to make that decision. LG Ultra-Wide 34-inch Monitor 120 Hz. The LG Ultra-Wide 34-inch monitor is currently discounted by $49 at Costco, and it's the kind of deal that makes anyone working from home stop and take a closer look. Just imagine having email and Excel file and a browser tab open at the same time without constantly alt-tabbing it. Quickly becomes clear why wide-aspect monitors get so much attention when prices drop. The 34-inch size provides ample horizontal space, making it easy to divide your workspace clearly instead of relying on 2 separate monitors. For people who spend long hours at a computer each day, viewing everything on one continuous screen helps improve workflow and reduces eye strain. The relatively deep discount makes this monitor far more accessible, especially for those who have been planning to upgrade their workspace but have been holding back because of the price. Samsung S90F OLED TV. For anyone waiting for the right moment to move up to OLED, the Samsung S90F in the 65-inch and 77-inch sizes is at one of the easiest points to buy before the promotion ends. Costco typically doesn't keep OLED TV deals around for long, and once the pricing signs come down, the gap closes quickly. The S90F became popular because it hits a sweet spot between performance and price. Shoppers usually compare extensively before choosing, and when they see OLED quality at a reasonable Costco discount, decisions tend to happen fast. What draws people to the S90F is true OLED picture quality, deep colors, strong contrast, and detailed dark scenes. Movies and sports both look immediately impressive. The 65-inch size works well for an average living room, while the 77-inch version is ideal for those who want a near-home theater experience without jumping into an even higher price tier. Shark Power Detect Robot Vacuum and Mop. Another Shark vacuum line is also seeing a very strong deal at Costco, but this time it's not a cordless stick vacuum. It's the Shark Power Detect Robot Vacuum and Mop, currently discounted by $120. For a robot with a self-cleaning dock, this level of discount doesn't come around often. The Shark Power Detect is well suited for busy households, homes with pets, or anyone who doesn't want to deal with dustbins and mop pads every day. It vacuums and mops in one run, then returns to its dock automatically, requiring very little manual involvement. One of its strengths is the ability to detect dirtier areas and clean them more thoroughly, so you don't need to run multiple passes. If you've already considered a cordless vacuum for quick cleanups, this robot is the next step toward reducing daily chores. The current promotion won't last long, and once it ends, robots in this category typically jump right back to a higher price. If a robot vacuum is on your list for the near future, this is a deal worth checking right now. Philips Sonicare Water Flosser 2-pack. Moving into personal care, there's a deal that's easy to miss if you're just walking past the small appliance section. The Philips Sonicare Water Flosser 2-pack is $30 off at Costco. Discounts like this are uncommon for oral care products, especially when sold as a set. Water flossers clean between teeth faster than traditional floss, making them especially useful for people with braces, sensitive gums, or anyone short on time. These units are rechargeable and cordless. Grab one and use it right away, which fits well into busy evening routines. With the current $30 discount, this is the kind of deal that's best picked up while it's still on the shelf. Once the promotion ends, the price goes right back up, while dental care needs don't wait. Vitamix Blender. This round, Costco is offering a discount of over $99 on Vitamix blenders, and as a result, this section no longer feels like a look but don't touch area. I've noticed quite a few people stopping, examining the machine closely, and rereading the box details before deciding. With Vitamix, almost everyone already knows the quality. The real question has always been the price. Vitamix isn't designed for occasional blending. It's built for regular use and handles tough ingredients like nuts, fibrous vegetables, ice, and even hot soups with ease. Its main advantage is consistent blending power and smooth results without needing to stop, stir, or constantly adjust settings. Vitamix is widely seen as a long-term investment. When used regularly and as intended, the value becomes much clearer compared to standard blenders in the everyday category. Ninja Creamy Deluxe Ice Cream Maker. Next up is a deal that families with kids or anyone who hosts on weekends will find especially appealing. The Ninja Creamy Deluxe is currently discounted by nearly $49 at Costco, which is a relatively rare price cut for this ice cream maker. The Ninja Creamy Deluxe is designed to make homemade frozen treats as simply as possible. You prep the ingredients, freeze them ahead of time, place the container into the machine, select a program, and you're done. Ice cream sorbet or other frozen desserts with no complicated adjustments or techniques. The deluxe version offers a larger capacity than the standard model, so you can make multiple servings in one batch, making it more practical for families rather than just one or two people. It comes with multiple preset programs, making it easy to switch things up based on preferences, especially useful during warmer months or on weekends when you need a quick dessert option for kids. Delcy Paris Hardshell Luggage Set 2-piece. Next is a deal that's hard to miss when walking through the luggage section, since it's a 2-piece set and currently $40 off at Costco. When it comes to luggage, seeing a 2-piece combo alone is often enough to make people stop. One purchase covers both short trips and longer travel. The Delcy Paris set features hard shell construction, smooth rolling spinner wheels, a lightweight pull handle, and a clean combination lock system. The strength of this line is that it feels sturdy without being overly heavy, making it easy to maneuver through airports or in and out of cars. Having two sizes in one set adds a lot of flexibility, the smaller case for short trips and the larger one for longer stays or family travel. Delsey is a well-known brand in the mid to upper luggage category, so buyers generally aren't concerned about durability or build quality. When discounted, the two-piece set becomes far more reasonable compared to buying individual suitcases elsewhere. I've noticed many people choose this set because they expect to use it long-term without needing frequent replacements. Fabric Sleeper Sofa. A fabric sleeper sofa is also seeing a $400 discount at Costco right now, which explains why the display area consistently draws attention. For large furniture items, discounts of this size aren't common, and seeing the price tag alone is enough to make many shoppers pause and seriously consider it. This sofa works well as everyday seating, and when needed, it easily pulls out into a bed. It's ideal for homes that host overnight guests, smaller apartments that need to maximize space, or home offices that double as guest rooms. The neutral fabric is easy to match with different interiors and avoids the bulky look that many sleeper sofas tend to have. One major advantage is that Costco includes delivery setup and removal of old furniture, so buyers don't have to worry about extra costs or handling transportation themselves. For heavy, bulky items like sofas, this service makes the purchase decision much easier. After walking through this round of deals, the most noticeable takeaway is that Costco is focusing its discounts on items many households actually use. These aren't products you look at just out of curiosity. You can immediately picture when and how you'd use them at home. All the items mentioned are practical long-term purchases that can be used right away and deliver more value the longer you own them. With prices temporarily lower, it feels like you're spending less while still getting full value in return. When you catch deals like this at the right time, it's worth taking advantage because weeks like this don't come around often. Choose carefully, buy decisively, and walk away feeling satisfied, not second-guessing whether you should have waited longer. Which deal in the video surprised you the most? If you've ever walked into Costco, looked around, didn't see any big sale signs or discount posters and thought there was probably nothing worth buying that day, there's a good chance you just missed some of the cheapest deals in the entire store. Costco has a type of discount they don't advertise. It's not promoted in the app, not mentioned in emails, and not announced in-store. These aren't small token markdowns either. Some items are quietly discounted by 30%, 40%, or even more. Below are 30 hidden deals sitting right on the shelves that most shoppers completely overlook. Watch through to the end, and you'll know which items are worth grabbing immediately and which ones you can safely skip. You'd be awesome if you liked this video. One Chefman Coffee Maker. The Chefman Coffee Maker is one of those deals that's easy to walk past because it looks fairly basic at first glance. What makes it worth a closer look is the quiet price drop currently in effect. Its regular price usually sits around $50 to $60, but right now it's been lowered to just over $40. That's enough of a cut to move it into the category of worth buying for long-term use. With the ability to brew anywhere from a single cup to more than a dozen built-in scheduling and reliable keep-warm functionality, this is the kind of machine that can noticeably reduce how much you spend on coffee runs each week. 2 KitchenAid Stand Mixer. Once you move past the smaller countertop items, the large kitchen appliance section is where Costco tends to apply its deepest discounts, and the KitchenAid Stand Mixer is a prime example. Not long ago, its price had climbed to over $400, causing many shoppers to admire it briefly and move on. Right now, the price has dropped to just over $300, roughly a $100 reduction on an appliance widely considered a long-term investment. 3 Ninja Flip Oven. Continuing through the kitchen section just beyond the larger mixers, the Ninja Flip Oven is one item that makes a lot of shoppers stop and double-check the price. This compact fold-up oven doesn't take up much counter space, but the real story is the discount. Outside of Costco, it typically sells for close to $200. Right now at Costco, it's been marked down to around $140 to $150. That's a deep enough cut to move it from interesting to look at into seriously worth considering. With fast preheating and solid performance for pizza, air frying, and toasting, the Ninja Flip is clearly aimed at people who want quick, efficient cooking without running a full-size oven. 4 Ninja IQ Blender. In the blending and prep section, the Ninja IQ Blender is another item many shoppers overlook simply because it feels familiar. But the current price is what makes it worth paying attention to. Normally, this model sits around $70 to $80, but Costco has quietly lowered it to around $60. It's not a dramatic markdown, but it's enough to make it a very reasonable everyday blender. With strong power, it handles ice smoothies, sauces, and nut butters, reliably making it a solid value at this price point. 5 Shokz OpenFit SE Headphones. In the personal electronics aisle, the Shokz OpenFit SE headphones are easy to ignore if you only glance at the box. The current discount, however, is what makes them stand out. Elsewhere, these typically sell for over $120. At Costco right now, they're priced closer to $90–$100. That's a meaningful discount for open-ear headphones, which are rarely cheap. The strength of Shokz lies in their design. They sit outside the ear, allowing you to listen to music while still hearing your surroundings, ideal for walking, running, or wearing all day while working. 6 Polaroid Instant Camera Bundle. In the instant camera section, this Polaroid bundle tends to catch attention because the price feels unusually reasonable for what you get. Instead of buying the camera first and then spending another $30–$40 on film separately, Costco offers this bundle for under $100 ready to use right out of the box. With Polaroid cameras, the ongoing cost of film is often what holds people back. Having film included in the purchase price helps prevent that immediate sticker shock and keeps the total cost more predictable from the start. 7 Swiss Gear Travel Backpack. Continuing in the travel and mobility section, the Swiss Gear Travel Backpack is an item many people recognize immediately because it's familiar and easy to use. The design focuses on carrying a lot, without looking bulky. Structured shape, sturdy feel, and smooth, reliable zippers. It works well for commuting, school, and short weekend trips. The current in-store price is just under $40, slightly cheaper than buying online, which is why many shoppers choose it on the spot after seeing it in person. It's not a fashion backpack, but it makes up for that with durability and practicality. 8 Soundcore Boom V2 Bluetooth Speaker. A few steps further into the portable speaker aisle, the Soundcore Boom V2 stands out because of its size and its surprisingly reasonable price for what it delivers. Normally, a large outdoor-ready speaker with strong output and solid water resistance easily costs over $100. At Costco, the Boom V2 is currently priced at just over $70. With powerful sound-clear bass and full waterproofing, it even floats if dropped in water. This is the kind of speaker that works just as well for picnics as it does indoors. 9 PlayStation 5. Moving into the entertainment section, the area where people tend to linger the longest, the PlayStation 5 still draws attention, even though it's been out for a while. What's notable at Costco is that you can choose from all 3 versions instead of being pushed into just one. There's the digital edition for players who are fully online, the disc version for added flexibility and resale value, and the Pro version for those who want stronger performance and longer-term use. The price isn't shockingly cheap, but it's usually a few dozen dollars better than elsewhere, and Costco's return policy adds extra peace of mind. 10 Val Haircut and Beard Trimmer Set. This is an item many people glance at and think, I'll just go to a barber shop. But taking a closer look, it's actually a purchase that reduces long-term costs. Instead of spending a few dozen dollars every time you get a haircut or trim your beard, this cordless wall set is currently priced at just over $50 at Costco, meaning it pays for itself after just a few uses. It's rechargeable, includes detailed attachments, and works well for basic haircuts and beard trimming at home. 11 Blink Security Camera Bundle. Right at the start of the home security aisle, the Blink Camera Bundle is an item that often makes people stop and look twice, because the discount is so obvious. This isn't a small markdown, it's close to half off. Inside the box, you get outdoor cameras, a video doorbell, and even a pan-tilt camera. At the current price of just over $130, you're buying an entire home monitoring system for your house, garage, or backyard, rather than paying premium prices for individual pieces. While the real-world battery life isn't quite the 2 years advertised, the trade-off is a very low entry cost for anyone wanting basic security without a large upfront investment. Like the video if this surprised you. 12 Cuisinart Hand Mixer. The Cuisinart Hand Mixer is currently priced under $30, which causes many people to rethink their expectations. It's not a high-end machine, you can tell the build is fairly basic, but it comes with a full set of beaters, enough accessories, and a storage case to keep everything organized. It works well for home baking needs. At this price point, it's not aimed at serious bakers, but it's a solid choice for anyone who wants a compact, affordable tool to use when needed without spending much. 13 Ninja Blast Portable Blender. The Ninja Blast Portable Blender is currently priced at just under $40, low enough that many shoppers start seriously considering it instead of just looking. It's a rechargeable cordless blender that's lightweight and easy to carry, ideal for quick smoothies, protein shakes, or blending soft fruit when you don't want to pull out a full-size blender. One noticeable change this year is that it comes with a single motor base but includes 2 cups, more than enough for everyday personal use. 14 Snacks. The snacks in this section may look familiar, but the current prices are enough to make many shoppers take a second look. Large bags of pita chips have been marked down to under $6, cheap enough to buy for everyday snacking or casual get-togethers. At the same time, family-size bags of Doritos are sitting at under $5, a price that's rare for bags that large. These aren't healthy snacks, but when you're buying in bulk for a household or a gathering, prices like this significantly cut costs compared to buying smaller bags elsewhere. 15 Scalloped Potatoes. These scalloped potatoes are one of those convenience foods many people end up buying again each season. The tray is large, requires only a few minutes of reheating, and works well for a quick dinner or as a side dish with grilled meat. The current price has dropped to under $6 for the full tray, which feels very reasonable considering the portion size and convenience. The serving is generous, but it's worth noting that it's high in starch and salt, better suited for quick meals rather than everyday eating. 16 Oil Marinated Mozzarella. Oil marinated mozzarella looks appealing and is convenient for salads or serving with bread, but this is an item where it pays to read the label before putting it in your cart. The price is currently under $8, which isn't high, but the issue lies in the type of oil used. If seed oils like canola or sunflower oil are listed before olive oil, that means seed oil makes up the majority. In that case, you're paying for convenience at the expense of lower quality fats. At this price point, many shoppers prefer to buy fresh mozzarella and marinate it at home, giving them full control over the oil and avoiding products that look good but aren't worth it ingredient-wise. 17 Parmesan cheese. This 24-month aged Parmesan is something many people grab out of habit without paying attention to the aging time. The key detail is that it's aged long enough to develop a firm texture and deep aroma. You can feel the dryness and smell the intensity as soon as you grate it. The current price has dropped to just over $12 per container, which is lower than shorter-aged Parmesan sold elsewhere. 18 Baguette bread. The baguettes here are another familiar item that's easy to pick up because the price is especially reasonable right now. A 2-pack is priced at under $4, which works out to about $2 per loaf. The crust is lightly crisp, the inside soft, great with soup cheese or for quick sandwiches. This isn't artisan bread, but at this price it clearly falls into the category of buy it for today and enjoy it without hesitation. 19 Goya canned beans. These Goya beans usually sit quietly on the shelf because they're so familiar, but the current pricing is causing more shoppers to rethink stocking up. A large multi-pack including chickpeas, black beans, or kidney beans is priced under $7, meaning each can cost just slightly more than pocket change. Since the beans are already cooked, they're ready to use straight from the can for salad, soups, or stews. This is the kind of food you buy once and spread across multiple meals throughout the week. 20 Oral-B Series 5 Electric Toothbrush Set. This Oral-B Series 5 electric toothbrush set stands out because of how many accessories are included at a relatively reasonable price. With 2 handles, multiple brush heads, charging docks, and a travel case, the current total price is just over $100, significantly cheaper than buying everything separately. The features worth noting are the multiple brushing modes and the pressure sensor, which helps prevent brushing too hard, something many people don't think about until gum issues appear. 21 Roborock Robot Vacuum. This Roborock model has been getting a lot of attention because it handles both vacuuming and mopping in a single unit. The included dock takes care of nearly everything automatically, while the dual rotating mop pads clean floors more effectively than the typical drag cloth mopping used by basic models. The current price is just under $1,000, which is lower than comparable configurations sold elsewhere. Compared to entry-level robot vacuums, the key difference here is the level of automation and the fact that it delivers real mopping performance. That's why shoppers who are deciding between a standard robot and an all-in-one model tend to spend quite a bit of time weighing this option at the shelf. 22 Shark Power Detect Vacuum. After the personal care electronics moving into cleaning appliances, the Shark Power Detect is the model many shoppers stop to compare prices on. It still offers a laser dust detection light, strong suction, and long battery life, but the current price is hovering just over $300, clearly lower than many familiar high-end models. A key highlight is its ability to automatically detect different floor surfaces and adjust suction accordingly, so you don't have to constantly change settings around the house. This isn't a purchase driven by brand loyalty. It's about getting the right level of performance for the price, especially for those who want strong cleaning power without overspending. 23 Dyson V15 Vacuum. Right next to the Shark, the Dyson V15 is the vacuum that makes many people stop and stare just to check the price. This model has long been considered a premium benchmark thanks to its laser dust detection, powerful suction, and lightweight feel in hand. Its previous list price caused plenty of hesitation, but right now the price has dropped sharply to under $500, a significant reduction from before. Compared with cheaper alternatives, the Dyson V15 stands out for its overall build quality and user experience. 24 Nautilus Yoga Mat. Located near the fitness equipment section, the Nautilus Yoga Mat looks appealing at first glance, but it's one item that comes with a clear warning before putting it in your cart. The current price is under $15, which sounds like a great deal for a yoga mat. However, what disappoints many buyers is how slippery it becomes during use. Despite being labeled as non-slip, many reviews report that once you start sweating, the surface loses grip, especially during balance poses. 25 Type S Jump Starter and Power Bank. After the battery-powered devices, the Type S Jump Starter and Power Bank stand out for its versatility more than their appearance. With a current price under $50, many shoppers see it as a just-in-case item worth keeping on hand. In addition to jump-starting a car with a weak battery, it also functions as a portable power bank, includes an LED light, and features a high-output USB-C port for fast phone charging. It's not something you use every day, but when you need it, its value lies in having it ready, saving you the time, stress, and cost of calling roadside assistance. 26 Underdesk Mini Treadmill. Moving into home fitness equipment, the Underdesk Mini Treadmill draws curiosity because it's compact and easy to store. The current price is just over $300, which isn't cheap for a small machine, so the key detail to pay attention to is its maximum weight capacity of around 250 lbs. That number doesn't just reflect user weight, it also hints at motor strength and overall durability. For light walking while working, it's fine. 27 Arcade 1-Up Claw Machine. Moving into the large toy section, the Arcade 1-Up Claw Machine in the SpongeBob edition surprises a lot of shoppers with both its size and its current discount. The price has been marked down to under $500, which is noticeably lower than what many people expect for a full arcade-style machine with light sound and an adjustable claw mechanism. A key feature is the ability to set the difficulty level so it doesn't turn into a frustrating never-win machine that kids lose interest in quickly. 28 Lego Storage Box. Nearby, the Lego Storage Box attracts attention in a completely different way. It's small, affordable, and extremely practical. With a current price of just over $10, most shoppers don't have to think twice. Instead of Lego pieces being scattered around the house or stuffed into plastic bags, this type of container makes it easy to gather everything quickly, stack neatly, and pull out for play before putting it away again. It's not a new toy and it doesn't create excitement, but it solves a very real problem for anyone with kids who play with Lego. 29 Kids Suitcase Set with Backpack. This kid's suitcase set with a matching backpack stands out because it's clearly ready to use for short trips. The suitcase's sturdy rolls smoothly and is sized so kids can pull it themselves. The included backpack is just right for personal items or toys. The current price of under $45 makes it feel much more reasonable than buying each piece separately elsewhere. The familiar character designs get kids excited, but the real value is in the convenience and durability that's appropriate for children. 30 Tetris Tumble Game. The Tetris Tumble Game is the kind of toy that looks simple but ends up holding players' attention longer than expected. It can be used both indoors and outdoors with thick, durable materials that can handle bumps in light weather. The current price is under $70, low enough for many families to consider it as a shared game for both adults and kids. With no batteries and no screens, just stacking pieces and balance, It works well for gatherings, weekends, or casual playtime. Looking back at all the items in the video, the common thread isn't whether the discounts are dramatic or not. It's about buying the right items at the right time. Many Costco deals aren't marked with big signs, but by paying close attention, you can avoid overpaying for the same products or buying items that look cheap but don't perform well. The real value lies in knowing when to stop, when to skip, and understanding that not every discount is worth chasing. Which deal in the video surprised you the most? Costco has just rolled out a wave of new products. But here's something very few people notice: not every item labeled new on the shelf is actually worth the money. And some of the most eye-catching products can quietly drain your wallet in ways you wouldn't expect. From home goods and household tech to seasonal foods. For Valentine's Day, Costco is creating a very familiar feeling: now is the right time to buy. But right for whom and for how long? Let's take a walk through the newest items that just hit the shelves this month to see which ones are truly worth buying. If you want to shop smarter this year, don't miss this. You'd be awesome if you liked this video. Tranty rotating vanity with mirror. This item just hit the shelves and is often overlooked, but take a closer look. From the front, it looks like a tall, slim mirror, more like a decorative piece than a vanity. But rotate it to the side, and it's immediately clear behind the mirror is a full tabletop with divided compartments for cosmetics plus a lower pull-out section for larger items. Despite its compact appearance, placing it in a small room makes a noticeable difference. It instantly reduces clutter. That said, when you try rotating it, it feels a bit heavy and not as smooth as expected. Priced at around $349, it's on the expensive side, so it's worth stopping to take a close look before deciding whether it belongs in your cart. Conair Upright Garment Steamer. Next up is another new arrival, the Conair Upright Garment Steamer. It's a compact standing unit that doesn't require a separate ironing board. Just turn it on, and it's ready to use. Heat-up time is quick with steam in a matter of seconds. It also offers multiple settings for different fabric types. At around $44.99, it's well suited for everyday wrinkle removal, especially for shirts or dresses that need a quick touch-up before heading out. Mesa Enamel Photo Frames 5-piece set. Photo frame sets like this always draw attention at Costco. This Mesa Enamel Photo Frame set feels solid the moment you pick it up and is priced at about $22.99 for the full set. The enamel-coated metal construction makes the frames sturdy, not flimsy like plastic ones. The 5-piece set includes 8x10, 5x7, and 4x6 sizes, and when hung together, they look clean and cohesive rather than cluttered. All-Space Foldable Fabric Storage Boxes 3-pack. Among this month's new arrivals, the All-Space Foldable Fabric Storage Box set shows up at just the right time. The set includes 3 boxes made of fabric with an internal rigid frame to hold their shape so they stay upright and don't collapse when filled. Each box has side handles, making it easy to slide them in and out of shelves. When not in use, they fold down neatly and can be stored in a closet or garage. Priced around $18 to $19 for the 3-pack, they're a practical option for quick organization. Le Chic Pâtissier Heart-Shaped Macaron. One look at this box, and it's clear Valentine's Day is approaching. The Le Chic Pâtissier Heart-Shaped Macaron set comes with 25 pieces in strawberry and vanilla flavors, priced at around $14.89, and looks very appealing on the shelf. The macarons are small, lightly colored, and neatly arranged, making them ideal for gifting or setting out at home during the season. This is the kind of item that requires no prep. Bring it home, and you have a presentable dessert ready to serve. Ghirardelli Chocolate. There's also a Ghirardelli Chocolate Lunar New Year 2026 edition packaged in a large bag featuring 2 familiar flavors: milk chocolate with caramel filling and 60% cacao dark chocolate. The packaging is specially designed for the new year, making it stand out on the shelf and easy to choose for gifting or displaying at home during the holiday. Both flavors are crowd pleasers, easy to enjoy, and not too polarizing. The price is around $15.49. Brooklyn Biltong Beef. This one is a bit different from the typical beef jerky most people are used to. Brooklyn Biltong is made in the South African style with thicker cuts of beef that aren't overly dry and aren't sweetened. The ingredient list is fairly simple: grass-fed beef, apple cider vinegar, and salt. The flavor is mildly salty and leans more toward the natural taste of the meat, making it a good fit for anyone who doesn't like heavily seasoned or overly intense dried snacks. A 12-ounce bag is priced at around $18.99, not cheap, but it works well as a protein snack that you can eat gradually or take along when traveling. Herb and honey braised lamb shanks. Meals become quick and straightforward with the herb and honey braised lamb shanks. The packaging is well put together, featuring whole lamb shanks coated in a rich brown sauce that looks very appetizing. The ingredient list clearly notes lavender, honey, thyme, basil, and Dijon mustard. All you need to do is reheat it, saves you from having to prep lamb from scratch. One serving is about 5 ounces with 22 grams of protein and relatively low carbs, making this a convenient option for anyone who wants a proper meal without the time commitment of cooking. The price is weight-based at roughly $8.39 per pound. OXO Pop Airtight Food Storage Containers. Walk a few steps further and you'll see these containers filling the shelf. The OXO Pop Airtight Food Storage Container Set 4 pieces, priced at about $37.99, is a familiar sight in many homes, and every time it comes back, people still stop to take a look. The standout feature is the push-button lid. Press it down to seal, press again to open, quick and easy. The clear containers make it simple to see how much rice, cereal, or dry pasta is left without opening them. Both the lids and containers are food safe and dishwasher safe. Safety Food Storage Container Set 10 pieces. Right next to the OXO set, it's clear this one is aimed at everyday use. The Safety Food Storage Container Set 10 pieces includes a full range of sizes for weekly rotation, from storing leftovers to portioning meals in advance. Priced at around $29.99, it's an easy choice for anyone who needs quantity rather than just a few display containers for the pantry. A practical feature is the vented lids. When reheating in the microwave, you just open the vent instead of removing the lid entirely. The containers are freezer safe and dishwasher safe. For oven use, just remember to remove the lids. Bayside Room Divider Shelf with Fabric Bins. Go a bit deeper into the furniture section and you'll find the Bayside Room Divider Shelf with Fabric Bins. This is a style Costco brings back regularly, so many shoppers will recognize it. The unit is divided into 8 square cubbies and comes with fabric bins for neat storage. Priced at around $149.99, it sits squarely in the range for those who want to divide a space while adding storage at the same time. The height is low enough to avoid making a room feel closed in, but still effective at clearly separating areas. Skylight 15-inch Smart Calendar. Walking past the home goods section, this screen immediately stands out. The Skylight 15-inch Smart Calendar looks like a large digital picture frame, but it's actually a touchscreen display for managing a family schedule. At around $269.99. It's not inexpensive, but it's clearly aimed at busy households with overlapping routines. Turn it on, and you can see a shared calendar, to-do lists, school reminders, and work schedules, all visible at a glance for everyone in the household. Like the video if this surprised you. Bridgeport Design Vortex LED Floor Lamp. Turning into the lighting section, this floor lamp is hard to miss. The Bridgeport Design Vortex LED Floor Lamp is a model Costco sold last year and received a lot of positive feedback, so many shoppers recognize it right away. The current price is around $99.99. It features an integrated 30-watt LED with warm white light at 3000 Kelvin, designed more for ambient room lighting than decorative effects. The lamp stands about 59 inches tall and includes a 4-level foot switch with a dimmer, making brightness adjustments quick and easy. Bond Outdoor Decorative Water Fountain. The Bond Outdoor Decorative Water Fountain stands 55 inches tall and is a new model for this year. It's slightly shorter than last year's version, giving it a more compact look. Priced at around $189.99, it falls into the category of large decorative pieces, something you buy with the intention of keeping in place long-term. The water flow is adjustable with bronze-toned details on top and faux stone at the base to create the look of a small stream. It already looks eye-catching on the shelf, but the effect is much more noticeable once the water is running. Chinese New Year Money Tree. One of the most noticeable items in the seasonal section is the Chinese New Year money tree. It's currently displayed at around $19.99. The tree has a compact shape with deep green leaves and decorations symbolizing good luck and prosperity, which is why many people choose it for a work desk reception counter or a corner of the living room during the Lunar New Year. 7 cubic feet garage-ready mini freezer. Turning into the appliance section, this unit immediately catches your eye. The 7 cubic foot garage-ready mini freezer finished in a black faux stone exterior is the kind of product many households stop to look at, even if they're not planning to buy right away. Priced at about $189.99, it's fairly accessible if you need extra freezer space. The 7 cubic foot capacity is enough for meat frozen foods or weekly meal prep, without being so large that it takes up too much room. It's clearly labeled as garage-ready, meaning it can handle wider temperature ranges than standard indoor freezers. Conair Infinity Pro Hairdryer. Just next to the personal care section, the Conair Infinity Pro Hairdryer is a new shelf arrival. It has a compact design and feels lighter in hand compared to traditional AC motor dryers. The unit weighs about 1.2 pounds and uses a high-speed digital motor that dries hair evenly without being overly loud. It offers 3 heat settings, 3 airflow settings, and a dedicated cool shot button, more than enough for everyday use. At $69.99, it's worth considering if you're looking to switch to a lighter dryer without stepping up to much more expensive high-end models. Blender Bottle Protein Shaker Bottles 2-pack. This set is instantly recognizable on Costco shelves. The Blender Bottle 2-pack is the familiar shaker style used for mixing protein or nutritional powders quickly without a blender. Inside is a metal wire whisk ball, just a few shakes, and the powder mixes smoothly with minimal clumping. The flip-top lid locks securely, making it easy to carry to the gym or keep in the car. The bottles are BPA-free and suitable for everyday use. At $18.99 for 2, it's not a flashy new item, but it's a reliable staple you can buy once and use for a long time. Fantic S200 Apex Tire Inflator and Power Bank. The Fantic S200 Apex Tire Inflator with built-in power bank is a compact one-hand device that works as both a tire inflator and a portable charger. The brand claims it can inflate a tire from 28 psi to 33 psi in about 35 seconds, and a single charge can handle multiple tires in a row. Priced at $39.99, it's worth considering if you often leave your car parked for long periods or simply want a reliable backup tool in your trunk. Milwaukee 3-in-1 Hand Truck. The Milwaukee 3-in-1 Hand Truck is a versatile cart that can be reconfigured depending on the task: upright angled back or converted into a low flat platform. The large 10-inch wheels make it easier to roll over garage floors or small steps without catching. The sturdy frame and tall handle work well for moving cases of water appliances or bulk items from Costco. At $124.99, it's not inexpensive, but it's well priced for anyone who needs a hand truck for regular use, rather. Suncast Smart Tube Hose Reel Box. This item falls into the outdoor and garden category that many households start paying attention to as warmer weather approaches. The Suncast Smart Tube Hose Reel Box is a concealed hose storage unit that looks much neater than leaving a hose exposed. Priced at $79.79, it sits at a reasonable level for a long-term outdoor accessory. The box holds up to 150 feet of 5/8-inch hose and uses brass fittings which feel more solid than plastic connectors. Rapid Hose Expandable Garden Hose. One thing needs to be said clearly. This hose looks compact when it's not in use, but once you start using it, it requires some thought. The Rapid Hose is a lightly expandable design that coils down small and stores neatly in the garage, which is convenient. However, when water is turned on, the hose repeatedly expands and contracts. Over time, this can fatigue the material, especially around the connectors. At around $49.99, it's not inexpensive considering its lifespan. Wet and Forget Outdoor Cleaner. Wet and Forget. Outdoor Cleaner is designed to tackle moss, mold, and algae on patios, roofs, fences, or siding. You simply attach it to a garden hose, spray the surface evenly, and then leave it alone, no scrubbing required. One bottle covers up to 3,000 square feet and costs around $29.99, which sounds appealing for large areas. The key thing to note is that the results aren't immediate. It can take several days or even weeks before the effects become clearly visible. Smart Design Acacia Wood Sofa Arm Tray. The Smart Design Acacia Wood Sofa Arm Tray sits directly on the arm of the couch with no installation required, using two spring-loaded clamps to hold it in place. Priced at about $18.99, it's ready to use right out of the box for holding a drink remote or phone. However, the two clamping arms are spring-loaded and snap back fairly quickly when released. But in homes with young children, it's easy for little fingers to get pinched if they play with it. Broadmoor Bed Frame. Seeing this piece fully assembled on the floor makes Costco's direction this year immediately clear. The Broadmoor bed frame is a low-profile design with a clean, simple look that pairs neatly with a mattress. The frame is sturdy without decorative detailing, making it well-suited for bedrooms that prioritize an open, uncluttered feel over heavy styling. The price is relatively accessible compared to full bedroom sets, which is why it's often chosen for quick frame replacements. Purple 11-inch Gel Mattress. The Purple 11-inch gel mattress feels very different from traditional foam mattresses. The surface is responsive, and you can feel the gel layer push back as soon as you press down. At 11 inches thick, it looks well-balanced on a low-profile bed frame without feeling overly tall. This mattress focuses on breathability, so it doesn't trap heat, the way dense foam mattresses often do. Pricing sits in the mid to high range compared to standard mattresses, so it's worth thinking carefully before making the investment. Phantom Pro Seated Electric Scooter. This model is a seated electric scooter, which sets it apart from the more common stand-up versions. The Phantom Pro comes with a built-in seat and higher handlebars, and its overall design is geared towards slower, more stable riding. With a top speed of 15.5 miles per hour, it's suitable for short trips within residential areas. At $349.99, it's priced higher than a toy, but lower than a full electric vehicle, so it's something you'll want to consider carefully. Magnum and Jetson electric bikes. In the electric bike section, these two models are displayed side by side. Magnum electric bikes lean toward a larger form factor with a sturdier frame and stronger performance, but the price is relatively high compared to what many people actually need for daily commuting. Jetson bikes, on the other hand, are more compact and easier to maneuver and store, though their power and stability are more modest. They're better suited for very short rides on flat terrain. Bayside Highland Bar Stool. This type of stool usually gets a closer look than fixed-height models. The Bayside Highland Bar Stool uses a gas lift mechanism, allowing the seat height to adjust from about 24.7 to 32.5 inches, with a full 360-degree swivel, making it easy to move in and out at a kitchen counter. The frame supports up to 300 pounds, which is solid for everyday use. Priced at $149.99, it's not cheap, but it hasn't crossed into true premium territory either. Rubberwood Veneer Console Cabinet. It looks good at first glance, but it's worth inspecting more closely before choosing. This Rubberwood Veneer Console Cabinet has a clean, compact profile, and the veneer finish resembles natural wood, making it suitable for a living room or entryway. The cabinet doors use soft close hinges so they open and close smoothly and feel comfortable for daily use. That said, veneer is only a surface layer, not solid wood, so it's more vulnerable to dents and scratches if handled roughly. Bayside Tegan Height Adjustable Desk. The 60-inch Bayside Tegan sit-stand desk offers a wide surface that works well for a serious workstation setup. The height adjustment mechanism allows you to move from 29 inches up to 46 inches, making it easy to switch between sitting and standing. At $399.99, it's positioned as a long-term desk solution. One thing to consider is its size. The 60-inch width takes up a fair amount of space, and in smaller rooms it can feel visually heavy. White Meat Chicken Tortilla Soup. This soup looks appealing on the shelf, but it's important to read the label before grabbing it. White Meat Chicken Tortilla Soup is a ready-made option, just heat and eat. The flavor is bold with plenty of toppings, so it's quite satisfying. However, the sodium content is very high, about 890 milligrams per cup, and in reality, many people eat more than a single serving. Priced around $10.49, it works for a quick meal, but it's not something you'd want to eat frequently. Tomato and basil soup. Milder than heavily seasoned soup's tomato and basil soup has a creamy base that gives it a light richness and a comforting feel. Each cup contains roughly 220 calories, with about 440 milligrams of sodium, lower than the chicken tortilla soup but still not low. At around $9.99, this is one of the more approachable, easy-to-enjoy options among prepared soups. Vegetable barley soup. Like most convenient soups, vegetable barley soup still requires attention to sodium levels. The soup has a lighter, more brothy texture, with plenty of vegetables so it doesn't feel heavy. Each cup is about 70 calories, which is relatively low, but the sodium content remains on the higher side. Priced at $11.79, it works well as a side soup, a base for broth or something you can add meat to in order to balance out the saltiness. Fresh chicken bone broth with ginger and turmeric. This item falls into the convenience food category but stands out for its ingredient profile. The fresh chicken bone broth with ginger and turmeric comes pre-cooked, just heat and drink. The ingredient list is fairly clean with minimal additives, and the flavor leans gently toward ginger and turmeric, making it easy to sip. Each cup has about 45 calories but delivers 11 grams of protein. After walking through everything, one thing becomes very clear. Costco has no shortage of items that can easily lead to impulse buys. Some things look convenient, but end up being used only a few times, while others seem like good value, until you read the label and realize they're not suitable for regular use. Smart shopping at Costco means knowing which items to grab right away, and which ones to leave on the shelf even if they're hot or newly stocked. A little more awareness goes a long way toward keeping your money in your pocket and avoiding rushed buying decisions. Which new item in the video surprised you the most? Certain items at Costco look completely ordinary. They're not labeled healthy, they're not sitting under bright sale signs, and most shoppers don't stop to look at them for long. Yet these are the items that quietly determine whether you save money or overspend each month. Here are the products that are actually on real discounts right now, and why they're truly worth putting in your cart. If you want to spend smarter without sacrificing your quality of life, this is the moment to watch all the way through. You'd be awesome if you liked this video. #12. Kirkland Organic Eggs. Kirkland Organic Eggs, the large carton, are the kind of item many people buy out of habit rather than based on price. Eggs are used every day. When you run out, you buy more, and very few shoppers stop to compare. But during this sale period, with the large Kirkland Signature carton priced at a deal of under $9, organic eggs suddenly become something worth paying closer attention to. At this price point, organic eggs are no longer a good but expensive choice. They move into the category of a very sensible option for families who use them regularly. On a per-egg basis, the cost is clearly lower than buying smaller cartons at regular grocery stores. The difference isn't noticeable in just one meal. It spreads across the entire week, especially for households that rely on eggs for breakfast, cooking, or baking. The egg quality remains exactly what people expect when buying eggs at Costco: consistent sizing, sturdy shells, deep-colored yolks, and a mild smell. For those who cook often, this consistency matters. There's no need to adjust cooking methods or worry that today's eggs will behave differently from yesterday's. The large carton also makes shopping more efficient. You don't have to stop by the store every few days because you've run out of eggs, and you avoid situations where you need them urgently and end up paying a higher price. When stored properly in the refrigerator, the eggs last quite a long time without any noticeable drop in quality. For busy households, that convenience can sometimes be worth more than the few dollars saved. 11. Organic coconut rolls. Organic coconut rolls are the kind of snack many people usually pick up, then put back. Not because they don't taste good, but because organic snacks often feel expensive for something considered just a snack. This time, however, with a large bag priced at under $7, the perception changes noticeably. Instead of being seen as a pricey organic snack, they become an option you can buy and enjoy gradually without much hesitation. The rolls have a thin, crispy texture with a clear but light coconut flavor. They're not overly sweet and not heavy or greasy. After a few rolls, it's easy to stop. There's no urge to keep eating just to finish the bag. This makes them easy to fit into everyday routines, especially for people who want something to snack on with coffee or tea, or a light afternoon bite without eating anything too filling. At the current deal price, organic coconut rolls no longer fall into the just to try once category. They move into the good for regular use group. One bag doesn't disappear right after opening. You can keep it in the kitchen, bring it to work, or toss it in your bag when you need something compact and convenient, compared to cheaper snacks that quickly become boring. You don't have to sacrifice taste, and you don't feel like you spent money on something you'll only eat once. When the price is more reasonable than usual, the decision becomes very simple. Buy them, use them, and move on. No second thoughts. 10. Sweet potato chips cooked in avocado oil. Sweet potato chips cooked in avocado oil are the kind of snack people often understand only after trying once. Then they see why it keeps getting picked again. Sweet potato snacks aren't rare on store shelves, but most are either fried in regular oil or heavily seasoned, so after a few bites they start to feel harsh on the throat. The avocado oil version is different because it feels lighter after eating. The chips are moderately crispy, the sweet potato flavor comes through clearly, and it isn't overwhelmed by oil or seasoning. A few pieces are enough. You don't feel the urge to keep eating just to satisfy a craving. What's catching people's attention right now is the price. Snacks made with higher quality oils are usually not cheap, and normally you have to stop and think before putting them in your cart. When the price drops below its usual level, that decision becomes much easier, especially for those who have tried them before and already know this is a snack that works for them. Sweet potato chips are easy to keep on hand at home, take to work, or snack on in the evening while watching something. They're not overly salty and not aggressively sweet, so they don't make you thirsty or feel heavy afterward. For many people, a small bag is enough for the whole evening, without that guilty feeling of having eaten too much. 9. Health Aid Kombucha. Health Aid Kombucha is the kind of drink anyone who has bought it individually knows is not cheap. A single bottle at a grocery store or convenience store is often priced high enough to make people hesitate, so it's usually something you buy only when you really want it. That's why, when Health Aid shows up at a deal price of under $10 for a six-pack, does it immediately draw more attention? At that price, kombucha stops being a just-to-try drink and becomes something you can keep in the fridge and enjoy regularly. Grabbing a bottle no longer feels like you're drinking something expensive. You feel more relaxed knowing you bought it at the right time. That's the biggest difference this deal creates. The flavor is lightly tart with moderate carbonation, not overly sweet, and very easy to drink when chilled. It doesn't leave you feeling bloated or extra thirsty like many other carbonated drinks. For people who are already used to kombucha, this is the kind of drink where you know exactly what you're getting. No surprises, no discomfort. Keeping a few bottles in the fridge is also very convenient. On a hot afternoon, after a tiring day, or when you simply want something lightly fizzy without being too harsh, kombucha fits perfectly. 8. Single Origin Peru Whole Bean Coffee. For those who regularly brew coffee at home, whole bean coffee is usually the first category they pay attention to when deals appear. This isn't the kind of coffee that's aggressively strong or over-roasted to make an immediate impression. Instead, it focuses on balance, a light aroma, gentle acidity, a clean finish, and no lingering bitterness after drinking. For daily coffee drinkers, that overall feeling is what determines whether they'll buy it again. Single Origin Peru whole bean coffee fits squarely into that category. It's the kind of coffee you can drink consistently, cup after cup, without getting palate fatigue. Brewed as a drip coffee, it's light and clean. In a French press, it becomes slightly fuller but still not harsh. The beans are fairly consistent from one brew to the next, without the good one day off the next issue that experienced coffee drinkers tend to notice quickly. What really stands out during this deal period is the price. Single Origin coffee is usually not cheap when bought from specialty coffee shops, especially in smaller bags. Seeing a large bag priced under $15 makes many home brewers realize this is a much more comfortable price point compared to their usual purchases. The larger bag also fits well into everyday use. There's no need to rush through it, and if stored properly, you don't have to worry about the coffee losing its aroma too quickly. Compared to buying multiple smaller, higher-priced bags, this option lowers the cost per morning cup while keeping the same familiar coffee experience. Like the video if this surprised you? 7. Ready-to-eat avocado mash snack packs. At Costco, ready-to-eat avocado mash snack packs are something many people have noticed but haven't necessarily picked up right away. Avocados themselves are familiar, but pre-mashed avocado often makes shoppers hesitate. Convenient, yes, but usually priced higher than expected. That's why when this product goes on deal for under $9 for a multi-pack, the decision process changes quite noticeably. At that price, avocado mash is no longer something you buy only in a pinch. It becomes an option you can use regularly. Each pack is portioned for a single serving. Open and eat. No cutting, no blending, no worrying about the avocado turning brown if you don't finish it. This works especially well for rushed mornings, packed lunches, or anytime you want healthy fats without extra prep. The flavor stays true to what people expect. Lightly creamy, smooth, not sour, and without any off smells. It works well spread on toast paired with eggs, or eaten with vegetables. For people who eat avocados often, the biggest convenience is using one pack at a time. No guessing ripeness, no forgotten avocados sitting in the fridge until they go too far. Buying the box at Costco also fits everyday routines better. Fresh avocados aren't always easy to find in good condition, and not everyone wants to prep them every time. Keeping a few avocado mash packs in the fridge makes meals simpler, especially on busy days. When the deal price is low enough, this habit becomes much easier to maintain compared to buying single servings elsewhere. 6. Cetaphil Cleanser and Moisturizer Set. At Costco, the Cetaphil Cleanser and Moisturizer Set is usually chosen because people already know it works, not out of curiosity or a desire to try something new. Many stick with Cetaphil simply because it's reliable, causes no issues, and gives them no reason to switch. For daily skincare products, that sense of trust matters more than any advertising. Because it's a repeat purchase item, when the Cetaphil set goes on deal for under $15 for the large size combo, many shoppers choose to grab it earlier than planned. Instead of waiting until they're almost out, they buy while the price is reasonable and stock up for the coming months. For products used morning and night, buying at the right time clearly lowers long-term costs. With continued use, Cetaphil doesn't leave skin feeling tight or irritated after washing. The cleanser cleans gently without that dry, squeaky feeling. The moisturizer absorbs quickly, provides solid hydration, and doesn't feel heavy or greasy. These aren't things that stand out dramatically after a few uses, but they become very noticeable over time. No need to adjust routines or switch products with changing weather. 5. NeilMed Nasal Rinse Kit. Many people don't think about a nasal rinse kit until discomfort starts. Persistent congestion, seasonal allergies, or a feeling that breathing isn't quite comfortable even without being sick. At Costco, the NeilMed Nasal Rinse Kit is often picked up during exactly those moments. During this sale period, with the NeilMed kit priced at under $15 for the complete set, many people decide to buy it earlier than expected. Instead of waiting until nasal discomfort becomes a problem, they pick it up while the price is good and use it as needed. Compared to buying individual sprays or solutions at a drugstore, this price makes much more sense for regular use. Using NeilMed provides a noticeable effect after each rinse. Clearer nasal passages, easier breathing, and no stinging or burning when mixed correctly. The comfort comes from consistent, thorough cleaning, not from the strong sensation you get with medication. For those who deal with allergies or live in dry climates, maintaining this routine helps keep nasal passages more stable over time. Buying the complete kit at Costco is also convenient for long-term use. You get the rinse bottle and pre-measured saline packets, ready whenever you need them. There's no need to remember separate purchases or rely on the pharmacy every time discomfort shows up. When the price is right, buying once and using it over several weeks, or even months, is a very practical choice. 4. Kirkland Signature Toilet Paper. Many households only really think about toilet paper when they start to realize they're running low. It's not an item that grabs attention while walking through Costco, but it's one of those essentials that determines how set you feel after a shopping trip. And at Costco, Kirkland Signature Toilet Paper almost always falls into that category. Once you buy it, you know it will all get used. During this period when Kirkland toilet paper is priced at a deal of under $20 for a large pack, many shoppers add it to their cart right away. Not because they're about to run out, but because this is the kind of item that, when bought at the right time, lasts a long while and keeps you from worrying about price for weeks. For everyday household essentials, this kind of timing makes spending feel much more predictable. The quality stays exactly what shoppers expect from Costco. Large rolls, medium thick paper, soft, durable, and not prone to tearing or causing discomfort. There's nothing flashy about it, but that consistency is precisely why many families don't want to switch brands. Once you're used to it, the only real question becomes when to buy it at the best price. The large pack also fits real-life routines well. Buy once, use it for many weeks, sometimes even a full month, without having to think about restocking small items. It's easy to store in a pantry, garage, or laundry room, especially for larger households or families who prefer doing one consolidated Costco trip. 3. Personal blender. For many households, what they really need is a compact blender that makes just one serving, is quick to rinse, and can be put away easily. Not everyone needs a large blender with multiple jars and settings. Real-life needs are often much simpler: a morning smoothie, a post-workout protein shake, or blended fruit for one person during the day. At Costco, personal blenders fit squarely into that need. They're compact, easy to use, don't take up much counter space, and don't create extra cleanup. Because they're designed for everyday use, when they go on sale for under $50, many people start to seriously consider them instead of just glancing and moving on. The biggest advantage of a personal blender is how well it fits into daily routines. In the morning, you add ingredients, blend your smoothie or protein shake, and you're done. There's no large pitcher to pull out and wash, no extra cleanup. For busy people, saving just a few minutes each day is what helps a habit stick long-term. The included blending cup also matches real-life use. Once blended, you can put on the lid and take it with you. No need to pour into another cup. It's the right size for one person, with no leftovers and no need to store extra portions in the fridge. This works especially well for anyone who wants a small but consistent daily serving. 2. Grass-fed collagen. For many people, collagen only really becomes noticeable once they start taking it consistently every day. That's when it's clear this isn't something you buy just to try. It's something meant to be maintained long-term. Because of that, when grass-fed collagen appears at Costco at a deal price of under $30 for a large container, the decision-making process shifts noticeably. Grass-fed collagen is usually not cheap when purchased individually, especially products that emphasize sourcing and purity. As a result, many people use it but end up spacing out doses or taking breaks because of the cost. When a large container becomes available at Costco at a more comfortable price, maintaining the habit feels much easier, without the sense of just taking it occasionally. The powdered form of grass-fed collagen also blends easily into daily routines. It can be mixed into coffee, tea, smoothies, or even plain water, with little to no smell and without changing the taste of the drink. For those who already use it regularly, the key benefit isn't an immediate sensation but the ability to take it consistently without inconvenience or discomfort. 1. Micronized creatine. Micronized creatine is a supplement many people only start paying attention to once they train more consistently. Not because it's new or heavily marketed, but because it has been used for a long time among gym-goers, endurance athletes, and people who want to maintain steady overall fitness. Since it's typically taken long-term, timing the price becomes far more important. At Costco right now, micronized creatine is priced at a very strong deal, around under $25 for a large container, which is what makes it one of the best supplement deals currently available. Compared to buying smaller tubs elsewhere, this price is clearly lower when you look at how long it lasts, especially for anyone taking creatine daily. The micronized form is also a major reason people choose this type. The powder is finer, dissolves more easily, and mixes smoothly with water or other drinks without clumping. Daily use doesn't feel heavy or unpleasant. For those who are already used to taking creatine, that ease of drinking matters because it directly affects whether the habit can be maintained consistently. The large container sold at Costco also matches how creatine is actually used. This isn't a supplement taken on impulse, it's taken steadily, day after day. One purchase can last for months, without the worry of running out and having to repurchase at a higher price. When the price is as good as it is right now, picking up a large container makes the long-term savings very clear. In the end, a deal is truly worth buying when you don't feel any regret afterward. These are familiar items you already use every month. The only difference is buying them at the right time, when the price is good. When you put items like that in your cart, your spending goes down noticeably while your routine stays the same. All it takes is buying at the right moment, and the value of the deal shows itself naturally. Which tip from the video surprised you the most? Do you think you really understand Costco just because you've been shopping there for years? The reality is that most people who walk into Costco only see the surface. Behind the towering shelves and prices that seem cheap, no matter what, there's a highly sophisticated system designed to guide your shopping behavior, often without you even noticing. There are unwritten rules, subtle signals, and details that look harmless, but quietly influence whether you keep buying or decide to stop. These are the truths about Costco that most shoppers never truly see. Once you understand what's actually happening on each shopping trip, the most important thing you gain is control over your own wallet. You'd be awesome if you liked this video. Employees observe how you push your cart. From the moment you put your hands on the shopping cart, Costco starts reading you not to identify who you are but to understand how you shop. Employees are trained to notice very small habits, whether you tend to stack large items on the bottom rack, whether you loop back through aisles multiple times, whether you grab bulky items first and smaller items later, or the other way around. These observations aren't about accusing or scrutinizing customers. The real goal is to reduce loss and scanning errors in a wholesale environment where missing even one case of water or toilet paper can create a significant discrepancy. What's interesting is how quietly this system operates. Shoppers rarely notice anything directly. You might just feel that checkout is a bit stricter or that receipts are examined more carefully. Costco doesn't look at individual items, they look for repeated behavior patterns. Who tends to move quickly in and out? Who doubles back often? And who stacks items in ways that are easy to miss during scanning? Store layout and product placement. When you walk into Costco, many people share the same feeling: the space is huge, slightly chaotic, and harder to navigate than a typical supermarket. That feeling isn't the result of poor design, it's intentional. Costco doesn't want you to walk in, grab a few items, and walk right out. They want you to move, look, and bump into things that were never on your list. That's why there are no clear aisle signs. And products are moved around every few weeks. Something you bought from one corner last week might be in a completely different area the next time you visit. This forces you to take extra laps around the store, and while you're searching, you pass electronics, clothing, home goods, and seasonal items. Every moment of being lost is another chance for something extra to end up in your cart. Essential items like milk, eggs, and rotisserie chicken are always placed deep inside the warehouse. To get them, you almost have to walk the entire loop. That's not accidental inconvenience, it's how Costco stretches the time you spend inside the store. Data shows that a Costco trip often lasts nearly twice as long as a regular grocery store visit. And with every extra minute, the likelihood of unplanned purchases goes up. Even the size of the shopping carts plays a role. They're huge, so the first few items don't look like much. You feel like there's plenty of space left, so you add more. Products are displayed on large pallets, often appearing low in stock or temporary, creating urgency to decide quickly. All of these elements work together to guide behavior while you still believe you're shopping thoughtfully and in control. The $4.99 rotisserie chicken myth. The rotisserie chicken at Costco isn't a random bargain. It's a deliberate, costly decision. Costco knows very well that at this price they don't make a profit. In fact, every year Costco absorbs tens of millions of dollars in losses on rotisserie chickens alone. Yet they keep the price, the size, and the quality unchanged, because the real value of that chicken isn't at the food counter, but in the shopping behavior it triggers. The rotisserie chicken is always placed deep inside the warehouse. To get it, you're forced to pass through multiple sections: TVs, clothing, home goods, and seasonal items. As you push your cart along, it's easy to think, I might as well grab this too. The chicken becomes the perfectly reasonable excuse to walk in, and by the time you head out, your cart is fuller than you originally planned. Costco doesn't just sell it cheaply, they sell it big. Each chicken weighs at least around 3 pounds, noticeably larger than rotisserie chickens at many other chains. Lower price, larger size, and a strong sense of getting a deal. That feeling builds trust, making shoppers believe Costco is always on their side. To protect that advantage, Costco even built its own poultry facilities, investing hundreds of millions of dollars to control the process from farming to processing. The Kirkland Private Label. Kirkland was created to answer a very practical question. If you strip away marketing, what's left for the shopper? Costco understands that much of what you pay for many products isn't quality. It's packaging, advertising, and brand storytelling. Kirkland exists to cut straight through that layer. What makes Kirkland different is that it doesn't chase low prices at any cost. Costco sets high standards first, then talks about price. Many Kirkland products are actually made by the same manufacturers that produce well-known brands on the same production lines using the same ingredients with only the label changed. But this is rarely confirmed publicly because Costco requires suppliers to sign strict non-disclosure agreements. No one is allowed to say we make Kirkland even when that truth would benefit them. That's why Kirkland creates an interesting paradox. You're holding a product that costs significantly less, yet it doesn't feel like a generic substitute. Blind tests often show Kirkland products matching or even outperforming items that cost much more. Over time, this trains shoppers into a habit that's dangerous for big brands, stopping loyalty to names and starting loyalty to real value. The secret price codes. If you look closely at Costco price tags, you'll notice numbers that seem out of place. Not the familiar 99, but 97, 0, or a small asterisk quietly sitting in the corner. To most people, they're just prices. To Costco, they're an internal language, and those who understand it shop much cheaper. Prices ending in 97 are the clearest signal. These are deeply discounted items usually marked down to clear inventory. There are no big sale signs, no loud promotions. Costco simply lowers the price and waits for shoppers who notice. These items can be significantly cheaper than the week before, but it also means they're nearing the end of their life on the shelf. Prices ending in 00 are rarer. These are typically store-specific deals, often display items returns or the last remaining units. There's no fixed pattern and no advance notice. If you see one, you buy it because chances are it won't be there next time. The asterisk is the detail most people miss. It signals that the product is about to disappear from the store. That doesn't necessarily mean it's flawed or low quality. Sometimes it's because the supplier raised prices, shrinkflation became too obvious, or Costco decided the value no longer justified the price. Willing to drop even best-selling products. One thing that surprises many Costco shoppers is this: even a top-selling product can suddenly disappear from the shelves, no warning, no loud clearance sale. Not because it's out of stock, not because it isn't selling, but because Costco decides it's no longer worth it. At most retail chains, strong sales are enough to keep a product around at all costs. Costco works differently. If a supplier quietly lowers quality, reduces size through shrinkflation, or pushes for a price increase that throws off the price-to-value balance, Costco is willing to walk away. Even if sales are still strong, they don't want to stock an item that no longer deserves members' trust. That's why this happens. One week you buy it and it's great. The next week it's gone. This isn't an artificial scarcity tactic, it's a deliberate decision. Costco accepts short-term revenue loss to protect long-term standards. They believe shoppers come back for consistent value, not for whatever item happens to be hot at the moment. Like the video if this surprises you. Free samples and gift cards. At Costco, free samples and gift cards are two of the most powerful sales tools, and they're carefully engineered even if shoppers rarely notice they're being guided. Free samples seem harmless. A bite of cheese, a spoonful of noodles, a sip of a drink. But the moment you taste something for free, the psychological barrier to buying drops instantly. Once you've sampled it, your brain labels it as verified, making the purchase decision faster and less hesitant. Something you never planned to buy suddenly becomes an easy add-on. That's why during heavy sampling hours, carts tend to be heavier, and shoppers still feel like it makes sense. Gift cards are even more subtle. You're not buying a product, you're buying future spending at a discount. A stack of dining or entertainment gift cards marked down 15 to 25% creates the feeling of instant savings. But once you own the cards, spending becomes looser, and the initial savings are often offset by extra purchases that wouldn't have happened otherwise. The 150 hot dog combo. For nearly 40 years, the hot dog combo hasn't increased in price while everything else around it has. That's not an accident. It's a deliberate decision to absorb losses in order to keep a simple promise walk into Costco, and anyone can get a filling meal for cheap. In reality, Costco loses money on every hot dog combo sold. Real losses, not the kind made up through cross-selling. But what they're buying isn't hot dog revenue, it's habit. A cheap meal makes a Costco trip feel worth stopping. For turning shopping into a complete experience, enter the warehouse, grab a quick bite, then shop a little more. The 150 price lowers the psychological sense of spending, making the purchases that follow feel easier to justify. To keep that price, Costco doesn't negotiate halfway. When costs rise, they build their own facilities to control everything from ingredients to production. No dependency on suppliers. No price pressure. This isn't showmanship, it's a hard commitment. If they promise 150, they'll protect it at all costs. The food court. If you look purely at the numbers, the food court barely makes money. Low prices, large portions, and prime space inside an expensive retail warehouse. For most chains, this would be the first thing to cut. Costco keeps it no matter what. The reason is simple. The food court turns a Costco trip into a complete routine. You're not just shopping, you're grabbing food, shopping, and stopping by all in one place. Once people get used to finishing their trip with a quick, cheap, no-thinking meal, Costco becomes a destination, not just a store. The food court also does something even more important. It reduces the feeling of spending. After pushing a cart full of purchases, a meal that costs just a few dollars helps the brain rebalance. Yes, you spent a lot, but you still ate cheap. That sense of value sticks, and it carries over into the next visit. Bulk buying and shopping psychology. Buying in bulk at Costco almost always looks like the more you buy, the more you save. Lower unit prices, oversized packaging, huge carts, everything signals savings. But psychology, not price, is what ultimately determines whether you save money or lose it. The problem is that the human brain is very good at ignoring waste. A large bag of vegetables may be cheaper per pound, but if half of it spoils, the savings disappear. Big jars of sauce, multi-pack yogurt, and fruit sold by the case, all of it looks reasonable, but it only pays off if you actually use everything before it goes bad. For smaller households, bulk buying can quietly shift from saving money to the pressure of having to eat it fast. Costco understands this well, which is why its products fall into two very different categories. Non-perishables, like toilet paper, cleaning supplies, detergent, and batteries, are almost always a win in bulk. Fresh food and items tied to personal habits, on the other hand, require restraint. A low price can't compensate for something you don't finish in time. Executive membership. Costco's executive membership sounds appealing. Pay more upfront each year and get 2% back on all purchases. But the key issue isn't the 2%, it's the shopping behavior it encourages. To break even, you have to spend enough annually. That quietly pushes shoppers into the mindset of, since I'm executive, I should buy more to make it worth it. Items that once required thought now slip into the cart more easily because your brain tells you you'll get money back anyway. The catch is that the 2% rebate comes later, while the money leaves your wallet immediately at checkout. Costco is smart about offering to refund the difference if you don't hit the threshold. That reassurance makes upgrading feel risk-free. But in reality, many people end up spending more than necessary just to reach the rebate level, and the extra spending isn't offset proportionally by the reward. This membership makes sense for large households with steady high spending. For inconsistent shoppers, however, it often becomes a trigger to buy more, not a true savings tool. Return policy. Costco's return policy is often described casually as, you can return anything, but the reality is far more measured. The policy isn't designed to please customers unconditionally, it's built on trust, and that trust is closely monitored. It's true that Costco accepts returns. Other retailers won't use household items, clothing that didn't work out, and even purchases made long ago. Their system tracks all purchase history, so receipts aren't required. But that also means they know exactly who's abusing the policy. Frequent returns that follow a clear pattern can flag an account, and some members have been denied return privileges or even had their memberships revoked. For electronics, Costco enforces a 90-day return limit. That boundary exists to prevent returns from turning into a free rental service. For most other items, the generosity remains because Costco believes the majority of members act in good faith. Hidden services at Costco. At Costco, some of the greatest value isn't found on the shelves but in hidden services that many members simply don't use, not because they're hard to access, but because Costco barely advertises them. The pharmacy is the clearest example. In many states, you don't need a membership to fill a prescription at Costco. Prices are often lower than major pharmacy chains because Costco caps its profit margins. For people without insurance or with high deductibles, the savings aren't a few dollars, they can reach hundreds of dollars a year. Alcohol works similarly. Laws in some states require Costco to sell alcohol to non-members. That means many people are paying for a membership just to buy something they could legally purchase without one. Alcohol is priced low, not because Costco is being generous, but because they're willing to accept thin margins to drive traffic. Optical and hearing aid services are where Costco truly disrupts the market. Eye exams are inexpensive frames and lenses cost far less than at specialty shops, and hearing aids cut straight through years of inflated pricing. The quality is comparable, but the prices are far more reasonable. Costco employees and receipt checks. Most people assume the employees at the exit are looking for shoplifting. In reality, they're mainly checking quantities and high-value items to catch scanning errors at checkout. With bulky goods missing, just one case of paper towels or a pack of water can throw the total off immediately. This quick check helps prevent Costco from being underpaid and also protects customers from being overcharged due to duplicate scans or missed discounts. Costco employees tend to stay longer and earn stable wages, which means they're far more familiar with products and warehouse layouts than at many other retailers. That's why the check takes only a few seconds but is often enough to catch mistakes that would be frustrating to discover at home. It's worth noting that while you technically can refuse a receipt check, Costco operates on a membership model, not casual foot traffic. Repeated refusal is logged because the system relies on mutual cooperation. Receipt checks aren't a control barrier. They're the final step in a fairness agreement. You aren't charged incorrectly, and Costco avoids unintentional loss. Not letting suppliers raise prices easily. One of Costco's real sources of power is largely invisible. It doesn't allow suppliers to raise prices easily, even when input costs are rising. At many retail chains, citing higher material costs, shipping fees, or wages is enough to justify a price increase. Costco doesn't work that way. When a supplier proposes a higher price, they're required to open their books where costs increased by how much and whether there are efficiencies to offset it. In many cases, Costco asks suppliers to absorb the increase temporarily or accept lower margins to keep prices stable for members. This frustrates some brands. But staying on Costco's shelves means access to massive, steady, long-term sales volume. Many suppliers accept thinner margins or even short-term losses because leaving Costco means losing a huge base of loyal customers. If you think of Costco as just big items, low prices, you're only using half of its value. The other half lies in how you think while shopping. Understanding why something is cheap, who is absorbing the cost, and whether it truly fits your lifestyle. When you learn to tell the difference between low price and real value, Costco stops being a place that makes you buy more and becomes a place that helps you buy less more precisely, and with fewer regrets each time you push your cart to the exit. Which truth in the video surprised you the most? You walk into Aldi with a simple assumption. If prices are cheap, there must be a trade-off somewhere. But then you're holding familiar products, things that taste fine and work fine, and your receipt is noticeably lower than at other supermarkets. So where was the money cut? Is Aldi bending the rules, squeezing suppliers, or selling you lower quality products you haven't noticed yet? This video doesn't praise Aldi, and it doesn't criticize it either. We break down the small details of how Aldi operates so you can understand why low prices here aren't accidental. And more importantly, whether you're truly saving money or just feeling like you are. You'd be awesome if you liked this video. 1. Strategy with fresh and perishable foods. Fresh and perishable foods are where many supermarkets lose the most money. But they're also where Aldi deliberately accepts having fewer choices in order to keep prices low. When you walk into Aldi, you'll notice that the produce and fruit sections aren't overflowing. Items aren't piled high just to look abundant. That's not because Aldi lacks supply, it's because they intentionally avoid overstocking. With short life cycle items like leafy greens, fruit, and fresh meat, The biggest risk isn't slow sales, it's not selling in time. The longer products sit, the higher the loss: spoilage, bruising, deep markdowns, or outright disposal. Aldi goes against the usual "pile it high to look good" habit. They bring in smaller quantities more frequently, turn inventory quickly, and focus on selling through before adding more options. This approach has two very clear effects. First, Aldi significantly reduces food waste, an invisible cost that shoppers at many other supermarkets ultimately pay for through higher prices. Second, items on the shelf are genuinely fresher, because produce isn't sitting around for days just to fill display space. Food that doesn't sell in time is often redirected into donation programs instead of becoming waste. This reduces financial loss and means Aldi doesn't need to raise prices on other items to cover that loss. Less waste means less pressure to increase prices. 2. Cutting air out of packaging. One cost shoppers never see on their receipt is hiding in plain sight: air. Open a bag of snacks or a box of cereal and you're used to the feeling: less product, more empty space. For many retailers, that extra space is normal. For Aldi, wasted air is wasted money. Aldi intentionally reduces empty space in packaging, what the retail industry calls ullage. Less air means smaller boxes and tighter bags, while the amount of product inside stays the same. It sounds like a small detail, but its impact runs through the entire operation. Smaller packaging saves materials at the start. When products are stacked on pallets, more units fit in the same space, which means trucks carry more goods without using extra fuel. The effect doesn't stop at transportation. In stores, compact packaging takes up less shelf space, allowing Aldi to operate efficiently in smaller locations. Employees also spend less time stocking because boxes are lighter and easier to handle. Each minute saved may seem minor, but multiplied across thousands of stores, it becomes a massive cost reduction. What matters is that shoppers aren't losing anything in the process. You're not buying less, and you're not eating less. You're simply not paying for meaningless empty space. Many brands keep oversized packaging because of visual psychology. Bigger looks like more. Aldi chooses a different path: less show, more real value. 3. Limited store hours. Limited store hours may sound like a downside at first. Many people have walked up to Aldi late in the evening, found the doors closed, and thought, "What kind of supermarket is this? So inconvenient." But this decision, which seems unfriendly to customers, is actually one of the core reasons Aldi can keep prices low over the long term. In reality, late-night hours rarely generate proportional revenue. Customer traffic is low, yet the store still has to pay full costs: staff wages, lighting, refrigeration systems, and security. For many supermarket chains, this is an acceptable loss to maintain a 24/7 service image. Aldi doesn't play that game. They open only during peak shopping hours, when every minute of operation generates real revenue. Closing earlier allows Aldi to significantly reduce labor costs. There's no need for overnight shifts, no late-hour pay premiums, and no full operational setup just to serve a handful of shoppers. Energy use also drops sharply. Lights, air conditioning, and freezers don't have to run all night simply to keep the doors open. Each small saving, added up day after day and year after year, creates a cost advantage that competitors find hard to match. There's another, less obvious effect. Employees who mostly work daytime hours tend to be more stable, less burned out, and more productive. This helps Aldi maintain a lean but efficient workforce instead of compensating with large staff numbers. When operations are streamlined and errors are reduced, unexpected costs drop as well. 4. Coin-operated shopping carts. On their first visit to Aldi, many shoppers are confused when they realize they need a coin to unlock a shopping cart. The initial reaction is often frustration. Why do I have to pay for a cart? But when you look closer, this isn't a fee. It's a system designed to keep things running smoothly, and it directly affects the prices you pay at checkout. That coin isn't a way for Aldi to make money. You put it in, use the cart, return it properly, and get the coin back. What Aldi actually collects is customer behavior. When shoppers return carts themselves, Aldi doesn't need to hire employees to gather carts all day long. At larger supermarkets, just collecting carts from the parking lot can consume hours of labor every day, not to mention risks like runaway carts, collisions, and damage. By shifting this task to customers using a very small incentive, Aldi cuts a quiet but ongoing labor cost. There's no need for extra shifts, no dedicated cart collection team, and no need to deal with carts scattered across the lot. 5. Encouraging shoppers to bring their own bags. One of the most annoying moments for some shoppers at Aldi is the familiar question at checkout. Do you have a bag? If not, you have to buy one on the spot. To many people, this feels inconvenient. But like many Aldi decisions, it's not meant to be irritating. It's a very direct way to cut costs. Single-use plastic bags may seem cheap, but multiplied by millions of transactions each day, they become a massive expense. Many supermarkets quietly absorb this cost and make up for it with higher product prices, so shoppers never clearly see what they're paying for. Aldi takes a different approach. They don't hide the cost, and they don't force everyone to pay for something many customers don't need. When shoppers bring their own bags, Aldi doesn't have to buy, store, distribute, or dispose of plastic bags. Fewer steps mean lower costs. Employees also work faster because they don't have to constantly tear open bags, hold them open, and separate items. Every second saved at checkout, multiplied across the entire system, becomes a real operational advantage. There's another important effect. Not offering free bags makes shoppers more aware of how much they're buying. Items get packed into reusable bags, boxes, or large totes more intentionally, instead of being mindlessly dropped into new plastic bags. This unintentionally makes the Aldi shopping experience more streamlined, faster, and less wasteful. Like the video if this surprised you. 6. Investing in infrastructure from the start. Few people realize that Aldi's low prices don't come only from how they sell, but from how they build their stores in the first place. While many supermarket chains choose to build quickly, make things good enough, and then fix or upgrade over time, Aldi takes the opposite approach. Build it right from the start to avoid higher costs later. Aldi stores often look simple and unadorned, but every detail is chosen to minimize breakdowns and repairs. Durable flooring, sturdy shelving, and reliable refrigeration systems may not make you say wow when you walk in, but they allow the store to operate smoothly for years without constant closures, repairs, or replacements. For shoppers, what does that mean? It means fewer hidden costs being folded into product prices. In many other stores, every round of renovations, equipment upgrades, or facility repairs doesn't just disappear as a cost. Eventually, it comes back to customers in the form of higher prices. Aldi avoids that cycle by keeping its stores from becoming a growing burden over time. When everything runs smoothly, the store doesn't need extra staff to handle issues, doesn't have to shut down sections, and doesn't interrupt the shopping experience. Operations stay steady and predictable, and that stability is what keeps costs under control long-term. 7. A focus on private labels. One of Aldi's biggest differences is what you don't see on the shelves: familiar national brands. Instead, you'll find a lineup of lesser-known names, simple packaging, and products that can feel almost anonymous. For first-time shoppers, the reaction is often skepticism. Is the quality any good? But the absence of big brands is exactly what allows Aldi to keep prices low without sacrificing quality. Most products at Aldi are private label items that the company sources and controls directly. This lets Aldi skip an entire layer of costs that shoppers rarely think about: marketing, advertising, sponsorships, elaborate packaging, and brand recognition battles. When you buy a well-known brand at another supermarket, you're paying not just for the product but for the entire story behind it. Aldi chooses not to make you cover that cost. With private labels, Aldi works directly with manufacturers and maintains tight control over recipes, standards, and pricing. There are no pay-to-play shelf fees and no complex negotiations with multiple middlemen. A shorter supply chain means fewer costs added along the way. Those savings stay in the system instead of being absorbed as profit by layers of intermediaries. 8. The just-in-time inventory model. As you walk through an Aldi store, you'll notice something unusual. There's almost no backroom storage. There aren't long rows of deep stockroom doors or piles of inventory waiting in the back. That's not because Aldi is understocked. It's because they operate under a very strict principle. Only what's needed, exactly when it's needed. This approach is known as just-in-time inventory. Instead of bringing in large quantities and letting products sit in storage, Aldi restocks only when actual sales data shows its time. It may sound risky, but for Aldi, it's one of the most effective ways to keep costs as low as possible. Inventory sitting in a warehouse is money that's essentially frozen. By keeping inventory lean, Aldi doesn't have to spend on large backrooms or expensive storage facilities. That helps them avoid an entire layer of costs that shoppers at many other stores are still paying for. Less inventory waiting around means faster turnover, with products moving straight from the truck to the shelf instead of sitting idle for days. The key is that Aldi knows exactly what it sells and how fast it sells it. Because the product assortment is streamlined and heavily focused on private labels, Aldi can track demand far more accurately than chains carrying tens of thousands of different items. As a result, ordering just enough isn't guesswork. It's driven by very specific sales data. 9. Multi-skilled employees. One thing that surprises many shoppers at Aldi is how few employees are on the floor. There's no separate deli counter and no staff assigned to stand in one place doing a single task all day. Instead, you'll see the same person ringing up customers, then stocking shelves, then stepping into another role as needed. This isn't Aldi being overly frugal. It's how the entire workflow is designed from the start. At Aldi, every employee is trained to handle multiple roles. When checkout lines get long, they focus on scanning. When traffic slows, they shift to stocking, shelf checks, or back-of-house tasks. There's no standing around waiting for something to do, and no positions that exist just to fill headcount. Every movement serves one goal: keeping the store running smoothly with as few people as possible. For shoppers, this creates a very different experience. Lines move quickly, bottlenecks at checkout are rare, and shelves are restocked on time. You may not see many employees on the floor, but you also rarely see chaos. When everyone knows exactly what to do next, the store runs more smoothly and with fewer mistakes. Labor is one of the largest costs in retail. At many other chains, staffing levels are high but roles are fragmented, leading to significant idle time that customers ultimately pay for through higher prices. Aldi cuts that excess by paying higher wages to fewer employees, in exchange for higher work intensity and the ability to move flexibly where needed. 10. Efficiency through green design. When you step into an Aldi store, you won't see bright, flashy lighting or elaborate decor. Everything looks fairly simple, sometimes even a bit cold. But that minimalism isn't about style. It's about saving energy right from the design stage. For Aldi, electricity use isn't just an operating cost. It directly affects the prices you pay every time you shop. Aldi stores are typically much smaller than traditional supermarkets. Less space means fewer lights to turn on, less air conditioning to run, and more compact cooling systems overall. Even lighting is carefully planned. Natural light is used during the day, and energy-efficient LED lights replace older, power-hungry systems. Refrigerated and frozen sections, some of the biggest energy consumers in food retail, are equipped with high-efficiency technology. Closed door cases and smart temperature controls keep cooling stable without running at excessive capacity. Many stores also use heat recovery systems, capturing waste heat from refrigeration to help warm the space instead of consuming additional energy. What's notable is that these savings happen quietly every single day. There are no big signs or flashy promises, but multiplied across thousands of stores, the reduction in electricity use and operating costs adds up to a very large number. And like Aldi's other strategies, those savings don't just disappear. 11. An extremely streamlined product assortment. What confuses many first-time Aldi shoppers isn't the low prices, it's the lack of choice. You don't see long aisles with dozens of different ketchup, cereal, or tea options. Instead, each category usually has just one or two main choices. For shoppers used to large supermarkets, the initial reaction is often, "How do I choose with so little?" But that streamlined approach is exactly what supports consistently low prices. Aldi deliberately cuts the number of products down to the minimum needed. By focusing only on the fastest-selling items, they avoid carrying bloated assortments with thousands of slow-moving products. Fewer items mean less capital tied up on shelves, less inventory sitting around, and fewer markdowns or write-offs. At many other retailers, those costs are quietly built into higher shelf prices. A lean assortment also allows Aldi to buy in very large volumes for each item. Instead of splitting orders across 20 different ketchup brands, they concentrate purchasing on one or two. That scale gives Aldi stronger pricing from manufacturers, and those savings are passed directly to shoppers instead of being diluted through layers of intermediaries. For shoppers, the experience shifts in an unexpected way. Fewer choices mean faster shopping and less decision fatigue. You don't spend time comparing nearly identical labels. Aldi doesn't turn shopping into a scavenger hunt. It turns it into something simple, efficient, and focused on real value. 12. Ultra-fast stocking and display process. If you've ever watched Aldi employees stock shelves, you'll notice they work incredibly fast. Sometimes so fast it barely looks like shelf stocking compared to other supermarkets. That's because Aldi doesn't treat product display as decoration. They treat it as part of a carefully engineered operating system. Most products at Aldi move straight from the delivery truck to the shelf with almost no intermediate handling. Items arrive in display-ready cases designed to fit the shelves exactly. Employees simply open the box and place it on the shelf, and the product is ready for sale. There's no individual item handling and no need to straighten rows. It may look a bit rough, but it saves an enormous amount of time and effort. Some heavy items, like bottled water, flour, or dry goods, are even placed on the lower level as full pallets. This isn't because Aldi doesn't care about presentation. It's because they understand that shoppers care about price and convenience, not elaborate arrangements. Every manual step removed from the process is a cost eliminated. This streamlined system keeps employees from being stuck stocking shelves for an entire shift. When shelves are filled quickly, staff can move to checkout support, monitor empty sections, or handle other necessary tasks. Less time spent stocking means fewer paid labor hours, while the store continues to run smoothly. Low prices at Aldi don't come from a single, clever trick. They come from dozens of small decisions, repeated with extreme discipline. Every inconvenience you notice, bringing your own bags, returning carts, having fewer choices, represents a cost that's been cut. The key is understanding what you're trading off. If you want fast shopping, low prices, and don't need flashy presentation, Aldi helps you save for real. Once you understand this, you can choose the right store for your actual needs, instead of chasing the feeling of something being cheap. Which tip from the video surprised you the most? Before paying for a Costco membership, there's one thing many people aren't clearly told. A membership doesn't automatically save you money. Some people sign up and feel it pays for itself, but many others pay the annual fee year after year and still end up spending more. The issue isn't Costco, it's how you use the membership. In this video, we'll be direct about when a Costco membership is truly worth it, when you don't actually need one, and how to avoid paying for benefits you never use. You'd be awesome if you liked this video. 1. Costco membership types. When people talk about Costco memberships, most only remember the $60 per year price and make a quick decision. In reality, Costco offers several types of memberships, and choosing the wrong one can mean paying the fee every year without getting much extra value. The most common option is the Gold Star membership. This is the basic plan and works for most households. You pay an annual fee to shop in store, use Costco services, and access member pricing. If you shop a few times a month and mostly buy groceries and household items, this card is usually enough. The problem is that many people buy it expecting everything to be cheaper, then feel disappointed when the savings aren't obvious. One level up is the executive membership. The fee is double, but you earn 2% cash back on most purchases. It sounds appealing, but it only makes sense if you spend enough each year. If your spending is low, the cashback won't cover the extra fee, and you're essentially paying more for benefits you don't fully use. On the other hand, for larger families or frequent shoppers, the executive membership can noticeably reduce overall costs. There's also the business membership, designed for small business owners. It allows you to buy items for resale and add additional cards for employees. However, if you're not running a business, this membership doesn't offer meaningful advantages over a personal card and usually isn't worth considering. The most important thing when choosing a Costco membership isn't which one sounds better, but which one fits your spending habits. Pick the right membership and you'll unlock real value. Pick the wrong one, and you'll just keep paying the annual fee without seeing clear benefits. 2. Membership fees and smarter ways to sign up. Once you've decided you want a Costco membership, the question isn't whether to buy one, it's how to do it without losing money. In practice, many people sign up out of convenience, pay the full fee up front, and don't realize there are ways to significantly reduce the cost in the first year. Costco regularly runs promotions for new members, such as store gift cards or in-store coupons. If you sign up at the right time, these bonuses can almost completely offset the membership fee. That makes the first year feel much lighter, because you don't feel like you're paying just for the right to shop. The catch is that these deals aren't always advertised prominently in-store, so it's easy to miss them if you're not paying attention. Another way to reduce risk is not buying a membership right away. You can shop with a friend who has a membership, use a Costco cash card, or place a few online orders to get a feel for bulk shopping. After a few trips, you'll know whether Costco actually fits your routine. At that point, buying a membership becomes a calculated decision, not an impulse purchase. 3. Payment method limitations. One thing that catches many people off guard on their very first Costco trip is the limited payment options. Many shoppers rely on credit cards for everyday purchases, only to find out at the checkout that the card in their hand isn't accepted. Not everyone has a backup ready, and that moment can turn the shopping experience into an awkward interruption. The key thing to know is that Costco only accepts Visa credit cards in-store. Other popular cards, such as American Express or certain MasterCard credit cards, are not accepted. This has nothing to do with whether a card is better or worse. It's simply Costco's policy. For people who regularly use Amex to earn rewards, this is often their first unpleasant surprise. Beyond Visa credit cards, Costco does accept debit cards, cash, checks, and some other supported payment methods. In practice, though, most shoppers are used to paying with a credit card. If you're not aware of the restriction ahead of time, it's easy to end up scrambling, running to an ATM, switching cards, or asking someone you're with to pay for you. This limitation also affects how you optimize spending. Many people have credit cards that offer high cash back for grocery stores or general shopping, but can't use them at Costco because they aren't Visa. That means you may miss out on rewards if you don't bring the right card. This is why some shoppers choose to get a separate Visa card specifically for Costco purchases. 4. Cashback and the Costco credit card. A lot of people use Costco year after year without realizing how much cash back they're leaving on the table. It's not because Costco doesn't offer rewards, it's because they don't fully understand how the cashback system works or the role of the Costco credit card. When small purchases add up over time, the total at the end of the year can be much larger than expected. Costco offers a co-branded credit card that runs on the Visa network, designed to fit closely with everyday spending habits. You earn cash back not only on in-store purchases, but also on gas, dining, and spending elsewhere. All rewards are combined and paid out once a year rather than monthly. That annual payout is exactly why many people forget they're accumulating rewards in the first place. For Costco purchases, the credit card provides cash back that's comparable to the executive membership benefit. This is where confusion often happens. Many people use the Costco credit card and upgrade to executive, even though the benefits overlap. If your spending isn't high enough, paying extra for the upgrade may not deliver a noticeable difference. Another important detail is that cashback isn't automatically applied to your purchases. You receive an annual reward certificate and must actively use it in-store or redeem it for cash. If you're not paying attention, it's easy to overlook or use it inefficiently. That's why some longtime cardholders still feel like the rewards are barely worth it. The Costco credit card only really pays off when you use it intentionally. If you spend consistently, especially on regular household expenses, the cashback can cover the membership fee, or even more. 5. Costco isn't always cheaper. One of the most common misconceptions is that shopping at Costco automatically means lower prices across the board. In reality, Costco isn't designed to be cheaper on everything. It's cheaper only when you buy the right products, in the right way, and for the right needs. If you ignore that, it's easy to walk away feeling like you bought more but didn't actually save anything. What often misleads shoppers is the large packaging and the seemingly lower unit price. When you buy in bulk, the cost per unit goes down, but that only matters if you actually use it all. With fresh foods, less flexible frozen items, or products you don't use often, waste can quickly erase any price advantage. In those cases, something that looks cheap on the label can end up being expensive in practice. Another issue is comparing the wrong baseline. Some items at Costco are clearly higher quality than what you'll find at regular supermarkets, certain meats, select seafood, and private label products, so a higher price can be justified. But there are also everyday items where the price difference is minimal, or sometimes not cheaper at all, once you factor in package size and how often you use them. If you don't compare unit prices or think about usage frequency, you may end up paying extra for convenience. Costco can also be expensive in a different way. It encourages overspending. The wide aisles, clean displays, and curated selection make it easy to toss in a few extra while I'm here items. Each one may not seem expensive on its own, but together they can push your total up quickly. Savings only happen when you control your cart, not when you shop on impulse. Like the video if this surprised you. 6. Shopping and using services without a membership. Not everyone realizes that you can still shop and use certain services at Costco, even without a membership. This surprises many people because Costco is so strongly associated with being members only. In reality, there are a few open doors that, if you know about them, can be used